Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Mike.
I'm so Dan.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are finishing up the final 10 of our top 50.
Nice.
This is the top 10 games ever made.
Top
Ever.
10 games ever made.
Hands
Definitive
down.
list. We all have the exact same list top to bottom.
Well,
Yeah, we
they're
should.
close. Whatever crossovers you guys have with my list are correct.
That tracks.
I see.
That tracks.
But first, you should make sure you like and subscribe, share this video, ring the bell, comment below. Dan, why should people be commenting down below?
Because we have a giveaway? Is that what you want me to say?
No, I was going to have you say, because you like to say, pay attention to our list and
okay.
comment
I
your
was like, what are
favorite
you
game from
asking me?
each of our lists. You've been saying this every time.
The giveaway, I think, will be done by the time this comes out.
Well, that's not why they should comment, though. I would just
Like,
be interested.
congratulations to the person that won our giveaway. And for those of you that
Frosthaven!
didn't know, Frosthaven, yeah.
Yeah, but there's been a few people doing it. I think it's awesome. They pick their favorite game out of everybody's list.
Yeah, I wanted to. I feel bad because I actually wanted to today have a segment at the end of the top 10 where I went over other people's top 5.
We could still do that a little bit.
Only 3 videos have been released.
Oops.
So, like, as of recording today, our
Oh,
20
right.
through 11 hasn't come out yet, and obviously this one hasn't.
Sure.
So we would only have their 5, 4, 3. So I
Well-
was like, maybe I'll mention that in another video.
Maybe we'll just do like a live.
Right, maybe.
After
Yeah,
this
that'd
drops,
be cool. That'd
and
be
we'll
cool.
just kind of go over. We
Yeah.
can make a list of other people's top games.
I also wanted to add that now that we're working on our 50 games. However, I have quite a few Bobisms written down.
Right.
Oh yeah,
we may have more to add today.
Yep.
we will.
And I'll probably go ahead and give you all of the top 50 Bobisms today.
50?
Yeah,
There aren't that many.
I was going to say, geez
like
Louise.
37.
Yeah, that's
We've
more
got
accurate.
we're nearing a top 10.
Wow.
So,
All right.
yeah,
It's getting good.
Top 10
getting
Bobisms.
See what we can do.
Stay tuned.
All right, so these are literally the 10 best games, our 10 favorite games to
10
play
favorite
under
games.
perfect circumstances.
Correct.
We talked about doing a thing in the future where we need to play each other's games that are in their top 10 if we haven't.
Man, I should have put DC Deck Builder in my top 10.
Yeah.
Ha!
Well, we've played it, though. My point was games that they haven't played.
Sure.
So here is a edited version that we can definitely do, and we'll see about doing the other one because I want to do the other one. If there's a game, for sure, I don't even think it'll happen. If there's a game that is on 3 of our lists and the other person hasn't played it, they have to play it.
Ooh.
I would even push it as maybe 2. If there's a 2.
I know there's
yes.
a game.
There's
I know
at
there's a
least
game,
one game.
on that's at least on 2 lists,
Yeah,
if
me
not 3
too.
lists.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm saying that we definitely should work on
So
that.
Dan, you've never played Blood on the Clocktower. I'm just gonna say it's not on my list.
As soon as he said, I was like, oh,
No, he already mentioned it.
you already mentioned it. We're good. We're good.
Anyways, guys, so Bob, why don't you start us off with your
Sure.
number 10?
Number-
Wait, Mike, were
Do
you gonna say
we?
something?
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
geez.
Before we
Do we have a
jump onto
theme?
it,
do you want to start at 1?
no. I mean, I'm not going to go
My
into
list probably
the
has a
theme.
theme to it, but I'm not going to say it.
I think I know what that theme is.
Sure,
It's
go ahead.
probably war games.
Yeah, World War II. Yeah.
Yes. I'm aware of that list with Bob. Which section was the hardest for you to differentiate?
None,
like-
because I use Pub Meeple.
I did too.
I did too, but then I rearranged after.
No, Pub Meeple knows all.
I rearranged them afterwards. And all right, so here's why I asked.
20 to
Don't
10
give it
was the
away.
hardest for me.
My 1 through 3 is like a 3-way tie. Every single day it changes. And in fact, it's changed since we started the list.
It'll be
Also-
changed when he's done with it.
Also, my 4 through 6, another 3-way tie. I've just got these 2 segments where they're all just amazing games. It's so difficult. And I like flip-flop on these every day. That's how close they are.
20 through
So-
15 was hard for me. I think
I'm-
or not 20 through 15, 5 through 20. Like my top 5 are my top 5, I think.
I'm very good at ranking things, so it was very easy for me. No, honestly, this is what I'll say. You know what the hardest one for me was, Mike? You know the hardest section for me? 60 through 50. That which game
Yes.
out of that 10
Yes.
deserved to make the list?
Now, I actually
was probably
said
the
that
hardest.
when we did that segment is how difficult it was to pick those final 5 games that were
Right.
sneaking in the list, because that means the ones that aren't don't get talked about. It's like,
Exactly.
which ones do I
Ever.
want to talk
You're
about?
never
the
allowed
most?
to talk about
I'm never
Well,
going
and
to
that's
talk
the- that's
about
the-
my
God.
51.
That's the annoying thing for me, though, is that I can't do like what you just said, right? The whole like, which one do I want to talk about? To me, I just need to rank them in the order I like them. But it does annoy me that means like my 51 is like, man, that's probably not going to get covered in this series.
Yes.
Like, and that's why people then do, they'll have videos which are like, the next 50, which ones didn't make the list and stuff, just because they want to talk about those games.
Or we can be like Jason. He's talked about his 197th
Oh my gosh,
ranked game.
they're going like 200
Yeah,
to 150
crazy.
just like on live.
The 100 beyond 100.
Yeah.
That's
that's right.
Cray is
That's
what
great.
that is.
It's great.
Good content.
All right. So now,
Are we ready
Mike,
now?
do we
You
have
feel better?
your permission for Bob to start
Can I
his
start?
top 10 now?
Hold on a second.
Permission to die.
Okay, go.
Okay, good. With his blessing, number 10. This is a fantastic game. They're all going to be fantastic games.
50 Hail
be
Marys.
prepared for them to be, prefaced with that. But I've introduced this game to a ton of people, from beginners to people who have played all types of games. I finally introduced Mike to it not that long ago. The Downfall of Pompeii.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I want to make a real life, well, not
Wow.
real life, but a larger than life kind of version of this, right? A big billboard. A friend of ours makes billboards, and it's like a big sheet. I want to get that
right.
big sheet, print it out, lay it down for the board, make a big volcano, get pool noodles of different colors to cut little pieces out of it to use, so you can really go up and just chuck somebody into a volcano. Fantastic. I love this game. First part of it, you're bringing people into the city. Then the lava starts erupting, so then you got to get people out of the city. It's fantastic.
Yeah, this was my 48. This is a great game.
Yeah.
I never turned down playing this game. It's really good.
I can't believe this is a top 10 game of all time.
Yeah, dude, it's fantastic. Have you played it?
Yes.
It's fantastic.
No.
Listen, I am surprised that it made your top 10, but I've also seen you bring it to like every Meeple.
Yes.
All of our Michigan meetups, like
Yep.
Bob always brings this game.
I do.
So I should have just been like, well, it's always in his bag. I
Yeah.
mean, why
Pretty
shouldn't
good
it be
sign.
in his
Yeah,
top
it's not
10?
new hotness, and it's
Right.
always in my bag, so there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Yep.
Everybody,
It's
very fun.
everybody seems to have a good time
And
playing
it's
it.
pretty short, so it doesn't eat up a bunch of time.
Yeah. No.
And now that I have played it and
Mm-hmm.
it's in Bob's top 10, maybe I'll pop the shrink on mine.
Hey, if you don't, I'll take it off your hands for you because I don't have that game.
Only
yet.
if I get to pop the shrink first.
Okay, that's fair.
There you go.
That's fair.
And throw it in a volcano.
Yeah,
I'll just give it to you so you can set it up and then just let me know when it's set up. Then I'll play.
you got it. Well,
That
it's like
whole,
Weather
like-
Machine. I got to set it up and then
Yeah,
I'll watch
look
a
at it for
video,
20 minutes,
look at
And
it,
take
I'll
it back
put
down
away.
again. Yeah.
All right, so my number 10 is one of the best produced games that I have ever seen right out of the box. No extras. This is
Foundations
just
of Rome.
the way this game comes. It is
He's coming
unlike
around.
Foundations of Rome, incredibly reasonably priced, especially for everything you get inside that box. But unfortunately, it's not super easy to get. Also, though, it is my favorite program movement game that I've ever played. And it is Mechs versus Minions.
Yeah, yeah.
This game is amazing. I have never played League of Legends. I don't care if I ever play League of Legends.
Same.
Nope.
But these are the guys that do it, and they friggin' nailed this game.
Yeah, first time out of the gate. Yeah.
Like out the gate, like these guys just made this really fun, approachable game. Lots of interesting combinations and tactics you can use. It's a campaign-based game, but you can also just pick a scenario after you've played a few times. I still haven't made it past like the third or fourth scenario.
Yeah, because you keep bringing new people in, so you keep kind of
Yeah,
restarting.
yeah, and I want to get further because there's extra things in there and
Secrets.
there's envelopes you open up
Yeah.
and everything. But this game is just a blast. I love this game. Amazing artwork, fantastic components. I mean, I have zero complaints about this game. I have a really good time, whether it whoops my butt,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, or whether we just cruise. If we cruise through, it's like, well, let's do another one because you think you're good. It's about to get a lot worse because you can't use really the same tactics.
The lava is flowing.
Yeah, you can't use the same tactics we just did to push this thing around. Now,
Right.
You know, now you've got to like
Do different things.
do a completely different thing, and it's really easy to learn and teach, and just a ton of fun. Pre-painted minis, just fantastic quality, top to bottom.
Program move, it's fun.
Yeah.
So I'll be keeping track of the games you guys mentioned that I have not played yet. This is the first one I wrote down. I want to play this game so bad.
I played it once. I was very impressed. I obviously it did not make my top 50 as you've seen so far, but I didn't feel like after that one play I had gotten the full experience the game has to offer, even
Yeah,
close. I know, Bob, you've played that first scenario, I don't know, 27 times.
Yeah.
So,
I got a feel.
but yeah, a lot of people, because of how they have to teach people the game, play the first scenario a lot, or whatever scenario it is. that
It's
they-
actually a second
Second one.
but yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I was thoroughly impressed with the game. It's a really fun program. That's actually the only straight programming game I've ever played. I think.
Oh wow, okay.
Have you never played like Colt Express?
Nope.
Oh,
Lords of
man.
Zidit?
Nope.
I haven't played
telling
that
you,
either.
That's
yeah.
a good one. You're
I
also
saying
haven't played it.
The reason I say
Probably not.
straight program is because I have played as the birds in Root.
Oh, right.
And
Sure.
that's what they do.
program movement. Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, good game. So my number 10 is, I know you haven't played it because we played it before we ever even thought you existed. And I know you guys have played it, but it's not like you guys had super strong feelings, I think, on it. And also, this is a couple things. First of all, this is my cheat because this game ain't out yet. But I just don't care.
I know what game it is.
yeah.
And this is also on a live stream recently. I teased that there was one game on my entire top 50 that was the exact same number it was last time, and that's this one. My number 10 was my number 10 last time, and that is Shadow Network by Talon Strike Studios. It is amazing.
It's
to
really
me.
good.
It is.
It is a Cold War era worker placement game where there's a couple gimmicks. First of all, it is, I say worker placement, but really it's also a resource conversion game, like hardcore. All the resources you're getting from worker placement, then in between your turns is where 90% of your turns happen because you're just converting resources behind the scenes. And okay, 2 blue and 3 yellow will do this and this and this, and you're converting stuff. And then it gets back to you and you put your worker out and you do your stuff. And then 90% of the game is in between your turns, you know, as you're converting everything and you're trying to make intel. You're turning intel into briefcases, and you're scoring points from that. You have these operatives that are like these one-time per turn uses. Like this guy will turn 3 blue into 2 yellow, and then this guy will turn 2 yellow into 4 blue. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I have a little chain I can go and like knock all those guys out. It's just a fantastic worker placement resource conversion game. I love this game. The other gimmick, I guess I should say, that it has is because it's Cold War era, right? It has a leak system in it to where
I like this.
every time you collect resources, like, okay, I'm going to go to this location, that gives me 1 blue. It also tells you under it, you either have to put 1 yellow in this country then, or 1 purple in this country then. So while gaining intel in that country, intel is leaking.
You're seeding the board
Yeah.
to
That's
make
a
other
really cool
locations
and that makes
more
the board
interesting.
self-seeding,
Yeah.
which is a fantastic
And
system for a worker
And it's not a
placement game.
punishment. It's not like you're losing those, right? You're
No,
just
yeah.
drawing them
Extra
from
ones.
a supply. And
Correct.
so that
Yep.
makes it even better because it would almost be too tight of a
Like, oh, I
game.
gotta
But it's a
pay
tight enough
these to
game.
do
It would be
this.
so
Yeah.
tight if you're like paid to do this. No, they really nailed that design. Like it's really good. It's a really good
I've
game.
played this game an insane amount of times because I still have the pre-production copy that
Nice.
they gave us. I love this
Yeah,
game.
Dan loved it. I enjoyed the game quite a bit, but Dan loved this game so much. It's like, dude, just hold on to the prototype. 'cause
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they've been releasing pictures of like the finalized version.
Yeah,
Looks
yeah.
so good.
Whatever.
What? You're getting those pictures too, aren't you?
No,
You're not-
I can't
He's not, you
afford
didn't
that.
back it.
Oh no.
No, I backed it. I just couldn't
Oh.
afford that. This is
You
America.
can't afford to get
the rich people get the stuff they don't even care about.
You
as
can't
much.
afford to get campaign updates.
Yeah, you don't get campaign updates.
Oh no, I'm talking about I didn't get my picture in the game. Like
Oh,
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about. Just
I was
the pictures
joking.
they
I
were
was
saying
joking about that.
Jason-
Yeah, I'm
saying-
in the game. Jason.
Yes.
in the
Jason
game.
got his picture.
Yeah,
getting
I got
the
them there.
pictures in the game, yeah, or of the game, yes. I'm
funny.
following
like,
all that, of course.
what?
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
pay extra for the, you're not
Yeah.
that poor, Dan.
Yeah,
Where it's like,
it's like-
no, we can't even
I
send him
unsubscribe.
I can't afford email. What's the postage on that?
Oh,
Is that like AOL?
Yeah. I used up all my minutes.
hold on, they're sending you a new disc.
Yeah, so you do
That's
this.
fantastic. Yeah, so Shadow Network, guys, it should be delivering very soon,
It should
actually.
be, yeah.
And I just wait for us to cover that more in depth because
No, we're never going to talk about it.
It's in
again.
my top 10 games of all time. Ever since I've played it, I love
Yeah,
Shadow.
it's a great game.
Fantastic.
It's great.
Okay, my number 10 is a very polarizing game at this particular table.
I know what it is.
I know 2 people that love this game and 1 person that does not. This game
everything.
would be my favorite programming game, and that is Smartphone Inc.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was.
I absolutely love this game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really enjoy this theme, and that is actually one of the things that drew me to this game. I'm like, oh, wow, an economic game that's not about trading silk in the Mediterranean. Wow, I'm interested, you
Yeah.
know?
Although in this game you can trade your phones in the Mediterranean.
You can.
You can.
That is true. That is correct.
That's right. As long as you get your logistics there.
Yeah, I really, this game has the most unique planning I've ever seen, where you've got these 2 tablets that all have an icon that are for the different actions, and the more more of that icon you reveal during your planning phase, the stronger that action is when you get to it. So everybody's doing their planning behind their screen, then everybody reveals, and then it's just so elegant how the game breaks down. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, this seems like it's going to be a lot, and then it's, okay, we're going to set our price. Done. All right, so now we're going to grab our new technologies. Done. All right, now we're going to do the logistics phase, and it just flows so easily. I've been able to teach this game to like casual gamers, and they've picked it up and done very well. I like how vastly different the strategies are. I've seen some people that go all in on the logistics part and flood the map and can sell their goods anywhere. I've also seen the guys who keep their price really high, grab all the technologies, and then sell their products for a much higher price than everybody because they've unlocked all the technologies. And I just
and then you've seen the guy who doesn't know how to do either of those and just makes no money the whole game.
Yeah, well, he wasn't there for that, but we saw that.
I haven't seen that. No,
Gotcha.
I haven't. So yeah, I really enjoy Smartphone Inc. I've had a ton of fun with just the base game, and the only modules I've used is the extra technologies. That's it. I haven't touched the CEO. I have used the 2 and 3 player board, which helps tighten things up a lot for the smaller player count. But the higher player count is better, but it's still a very good game at 2 and 3.
The module that adds the little like missions, quests, whatever you want to call them, that one's really good. And also, I really enjoy the challenge mode where you have the different tablets and there's actually a cost. So each of the things you want to do, you're going to cost you money before you can start making money.
Nice.
And I really enjoyed that mode.
Yeah, so I mean, I've just enjoyed this game enough that I haven't dug into those things yet. I like to experience what a base game has to offer before adding those things, unless, everybody says, oh, this is a must-have expansion, or this completes the game. Sure. I'm one of those, I'll give a base game 4 or 5 plays until I feel like that game needs more. I'm not there. I just want to add that stuff to
You know what really improved my opinion of Smartphone too? Mobile markets. Man, I hated that game so much. I'm like, thank God there's smartphone now. A good game with this thing.
The only one I ranked a 10.
Yeah, mobile markets does some weird things that I think smartphone does very well. So I didn't dislike it, but it's not nearly as good as
good. It was okay, but
by not nearly as good, you mean not good at all. That game is
correct. Well, this is top 10 and not on the top 50.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just crazy to me how this game's ranked like 400 or 500, and I just think this is a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
It should be higher than that.
It's because they got that hipster doofus.
It's probably
what
it is.
Box. That made me not want to play the game. And then everybody's like, "You should play this game." I'm like, "Fine." Oh wait, I was the hipster doofus. This game's good.
So, number 9. The theme of my list basically is going to be games that take way too long.
Like Downfall of Pompeii.
Well, that's one of the exceptions to the rule here. But over half of my games take way too long to play. This being the first one on the list. I think the first time I played this, it was at max player count, which I believe is 5. And it took us a good 5 to 6 hours to play. But I had a blast with it, and it's called History of the World. And they had it was one of those games that I really enjoyed it because I love civilization types of games, and you're playing through all these different epochs, however you want to pronounce them. And not only is your civilizations from the earlier ones still on the board, as you continue to play through them, like the world basically gets bigger. It
does get better.
It does get a little bitter too, but no, it gets bigger because you start in the cradle of civilization, and you just more and more like the world keeps opening up. Then you start to open up sailing, and it opens up more and more of the world. And it took so long to play. And in between turns can take so long, but man, I just really enjoyed just the huge epicness of this game. And you might be dealing with the Egyptians one time, but then all of a sudden later on, now you're dealing with like the Americans and stuff like that. So the Egyptians don't matter anymore, and it's just neat how you kind of like change civilizations you're playing through, and it's just I had a ton of fun with it.
It really is the game that most represents to me. Like if you play like old school Civilization on your PC, and then you can go back and you watch like the world map, and the colors kind of like move around as you like conquer different areas, or you occupy. You know what I mean? And
things grow,
like the blobs and shrink and grow and stuff. Like this game really kind of
captures that. Yeah,
right?
it does.
Because I played it with you the first time you played it.
Yep,
we played
with
it
Patrick and them.
at the IndieCon that was at Family Time Games.
Yes. Yep, that was the first time I played it. And then I went out and I got myself a copy of it, and then like a year later, They did reprint.
Yeah, but this time you were justified because
the reprint is ugly.
The reprint is not as
so
good
bad.
looking.
It's so ugly.
So you got the good version.
I did.
You
So
did good.
thankfully.
So that's the problem though, right? Is you did that and you're like, I'm gonna do this every time. And now every other time it's just blowing up in your face.
Yeah. Hasn't gone over well. But that's okay. I got the good version of that. That's fine.
You got a great version of that. Yeah. That is a good game. I really like that game, but yes,
Takes a long time.
the time that you need to play it, it's like
And it's not just the time, it's the time in between turns. Because like somebody's going to do their turn, they're going to take their entire civilization's turn from start to finish. It's not like I do an action, you do an action. Like Mosaic, right? And everybody's taking actions and it keeps the flow going. No, it's like it could literally be like 20, 30 minutes between your turns.
yeah, I was literally getting up and like shopping.
Doing other things. Yeah. Go shop or go get a sandwich and things
Yeah.
like that. You could have a side game going on if you really wanted to.
Right.
Just, if you interact with my stuff, just let me know. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it. I like that.
It's a good game.
a good
It's a
game.
really good game. So my number 9, I like games with minis. I like games with pre-painted minis because this is the second one in a row. that gets pre-painted
That's your
minis.
theme, huh?
I guess. This is Weta Workshop. As far as I know, this is the first game that they made.
Yeah.
This was higher on my list, I believe, last time we did it, but it's
think
still
so.
a top 10 game. I think it was a top 5 game
I think it
last
was
time.
4 or 5 last time, yeah.
But yeah, GKR Heavy Hitters, Giant Killer Robots. This game is tons of stupid fun.
Yeah.
It is a tactical skirmish game with 2 to 4 players. And if you play with 3, you can do a free-for-all, but you really just need to, like, once
do
one
something
person
else.
goes down, you got to end it.
Yep.
Like, because it'll just, the other person just leaves, you know, like, okay. But it's more, I like teams better.
Teams are better, otherwise you end up like Kingmaker situations. And
Yeah,
things like
and that can get ugly
Yeah, it's no
also,
fun.
right? But yeah, in this game, like, so you're going to pick a mech. All the mechs are unique. You're going to pick a pilot, which is going to give you a unique ability. And then you have the deck of cards for your mech, and you're going to pick which armaments.
Yeah,
you're
what
gonna use.
loadout you want.
Yeah, so you're going to have like energy weapons or melee weapons or projectile weapons. You know what I mean? Like ballistics weapons. I don't think there's melee weapons. But then you got like your drones. You got all kinds of different things you can add in there, right? To
Repair mech kind of come up.
yeah, I mean, there's such good stuff in this, and I just really enjoy this game. It's a lot of fun. There's you can get like sponsorships.
I say I love the tongue in cheek kind of like
That's
sponsors.
the
and
best
stuff.
part of the game.
yeah,
the
like Hunger Games
sponsorships.
style.
They
You know,
drop
the
it in care
sponsors
packages.
drop
Yeah.
in
They
the
like
care
sponsor
packages.
themselves, then drop it in. Then it's like, oh, if you drink our crazy cola, you'll get a speed boost this turn.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I love that.
You like
Yeah.
poison somebody with like bad tacos.
Yeah.
And make them lose a turn.
Right, yeah, they lose some extra actions. And then you also have this nice thing, though, because your player board, you've got like power. And so you're spending power and you can take you can like run your mech hot, right? But you're going to take damage for doing that,
Right.
you know, and things like that. And you take damage by losing cards out of your deck. So, you know, there's this balance, of
balance,
also
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, you're playing your stuff and then just trying to not take too much damage. And then you're tagging the buildings. I enjoy the 3D terrain like that this also has because it's got the buildings and it presents some really unique things where like if you're next to 2 buildings like this,
Right.
you can fire through, but they can't shoot back at
Right,
you
yeah.
because it's too narrow.
too narrow.
But you're right there. This just does like a lot of things. It's not for everybody, but it is for me. I love this game. It is a good time.
It's a good time.
And I enjoy it quite a bit. GKR Heavy Hitters. Components are amazing. They all come pre-painted, and
It's
they're
insane.
They're really
They're
well painted.
Big, yeah.
They're really well
This is one of
painted.
those games where it's like it's almost worth the money just to have these beautiful painted mechs that you could use for any
Other things.
tabletop game
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, the
Like,
mechs are really really cool.
Yeah.
I knew this one would be on your top 10, and it makes my list for ones I need to play. I'm interested in this one for sure.
I don't love skirmish games. I had a good time with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd I'd play it again, I guess, but I'm definitely not like, oh, I
Requesting
can't
it.
wait to play. Yeah,
Right.
I just don't do skirmish games though, really. So, yeah. My number 9 is new to the list. This is in our live stream the other day. Someone asked if we had any games that we doubled up, games that were like so similar that we just put them on the same number. I have 2 of those in my top 10, and this is one of them. And honestly, part of me is amazed it's this high, but I respect this game so much for how simple it is and how amazing it is. It's so good. It's Marvel Remix or Fantasy
Gosh,
Realms.
Wow.
This game could be on my top 50. I love Marvel Remix so much.
This card game is amazing to me.
I feel validated in my love for it.
Sure, it is. Yeah, sure. It is so simple, so short, so cheap, and yet really good decisions happening going on. There's some luck in there, sure. You see what your hand is at the very beginning of the game, and you go, okay, what can I realistically build towards? You know, like, you might want that Thor Mjolnir setup in Marvel Remix, but Mjolnir could be the last card in the deck. So that's not a realistic thing to build towards. You kind of want to build towards something else, but keep Thor in your hand.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case someone else discards Mjolnir, you know? But I find it fantastic. It seems really well balanced, and this is a game that I have never played with anyone who didn't enjoy it. Right? Like,
yeah, you don't have to love it, but you have a decent time
Bob
playing
thinks
it,
it's
sure.
okay.
It's okay.
Andrew thinks it's okay.
I want to buy this game the second it drops, like on the shelf in this game store.
When I first played Fantasy Realms, it blew my mind. I was like, "What a simple, elegant game!" And
But it's so ugly.
Terrible art.
yeah. But I played it, and I loved it. And then Marvel Remix came out, and I bought it the second I saw it sitting on the shelf at Gen Con, and I haven't regretted it since.
And I regret not buying it. I was like, oh, Dan's got it. I'll buy one tomorrow. All gone.
Sure.
But it's great. I'm really glad you got it. I'm glad I'm not the only one that is just fanatical about that game. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It was borderline top 50 for me, and I bought Fantasy Realms right before Gen Con just because of how much you guys had talked about it.
Yeah, it's really
And
good. I really
I've
like
played
Fantasy
it a
Realms.
lot.
I was gonna
And-
say this is probably my most played game of the year, and that might be why it's this high.
Well,
because I played
which
it
is crazy
so
because that
much.
game takes so long to play.
Right.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm easily at 10 plus plays. I was going to repeat something that you've said before, which I find true. Every time you show somebody this game, they want to play it again.
Yes.
Like every time
It's
I
kinda
show
like
it to new people.
Conclusio like that.
Oh,
Like, let's
let's
go
play
again.
this again. Yeah.
Scott was like that the other day too. It's like played one game, played another game.
Right. Well, that's because Mike was like, I can't do worse.
Yeah, nowhere to go but up.
Factual. Okay, so my number 9, this game's a couple years old, but this is a new to me this year game. I picked this game up in May, and then it quickly became one of my most played games of the year. And there was a time during this year where I could not shut up about Cubitos.
Oh, yeah.
And I
I
cannot.
was there.
And, I mean,
We were all here.
for a while, this was the only game I wanted to play. Like I just
We know.
always, when I wanted to play a game, I'd always bring Cubitos. And I just love this game so much. This game does push your luck and racing about as well as I think a game can.
And yet you refuses to teach me how to play it.
Well,
Actually, he offered it that one night, and you went to bed like an old man.
I will gladly show anybody Cubitos. And, you know, while I don't think this game is perfect, it's perfect for me, and I love it because I love racing games and I like push your luck. The one thing I have found, and I think it's a legitimate complaint, is that when teaching new players how the dice go from discard to active and then you refresh them sometimes trips people up a little bit. Now, anybody that's played a few games, particularly deck builders, you can go, hey, this works like a deck builder. Pull from your draw pile until it's empty. All right, now take your discarded dice, move it to your draw area, and continue drawing up to your dice limit. You understand that? Great. You can roll right into the game. But I found some people where that
Unintended.
trips them up. It is a little fiddly in that regard. But this game does things so well. I love racing games. And I like how, okay, so I've got these 9 dice, and I'm going to roll them. As soon as they hit a side, I put them to my active zone. If I have 3 active dice, now if I roll blanks, I can bust. So I'm being cautious here, like, okay, I want to get as many active dice as I can, but if I roll too many, I'm going to bust. And then those active dice are either going to give you a currency, which allow you to buy more dice, or they're going to give you a foot, which allows you to race around the board. And of course, it's a race. First one to hit that finish line wins. But buying those new dice is so fun. It's part of one of the things I really like about Quacks is in between rounds, you've got that money and you're buying those new chips and you're adding them to your bag. And Cubitos has that same fulfilling thing where you're gradually building up your dice pool, and there's 8 different colored dice. They all have totally different effects, and the way they combo during the race phase is so fulfilling. I mean, I rolled a purple, and that allows me to move 6, and then I rolled a yellow, which allows me to re-roll my green, and my green is going to prevent me from busting, and I rolled a white, and that allows me to re-roll these. I love combos, and Cubitos does it in spades. One last thing I'll gush about with Cubitos is it has my favorite catch-up mechanism of any game I've ever seen, and that's the fan track. You busted, sorry, all your dice go to your discard pile, so you can't use them. But you move up the fan track. The more you go up the fan track, you're going to get more currency, and it increases your dice pool limit. And I love that because busting is helpful in this game. It is legitimately good.
So it would make Dan better.
Bust.
I won.
Yeah.
There are games I'll play where I'll intentionally bust 4 times in a row to increase my die limit by 2. Now I'm rolling 11 dice for the rest of the game. That catch-up mechanic is awesome, and I really enjoy it. And there's so much replayability in this box. Out of those 8 different colored dice, there's, I believe, 8 different cards that
For each die.
for every die. So you've got 64 different combinations. Well, more combinations than that, but
Sure.
I mean, the tons of replayability. It's got suggested layouts in the box, and you can mix and match your own. And man,
It's got a slight catch-up mechanic, kind of similar to Rat Tails too, where if you're so
Yeah.
far behind, you get to add extra dice just in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah, I
So-
was thinking the same thing.
Is this the one you said was like Cubitos but racing, or not Cubitos?
it is.
Warriors but racing.
That's what I was gonna say. This is a good game. I liked it. To me, it was just it's literally Warriors or Dice Masters with a less interesting gimmick. To me, is all.
But it
might be a better designed game.
It is a brick of cheese wearing lederhosen.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
What?
I
Look at the
know.
box.
But I just in Warriors.
I'm very confused by
In
that.
Warriors, it has the same card dice mechanic, but you are going on quests, and you are, I guess that's with an expansion, but most people have it. Or you are doing almost like a King of Tokyo combat style, where you're just trying to knock everyone out, and then everyone's trying to knock you out and stuff like that. And then in Dice Masters, it's more of a duel game, where you same card and dice system, but you leave your line of defense up there, and you duel each other and try to knock each
you
other's
build
people out.
you
so
build
you
a
can hit
deck
so you can get their
essentially,
life points,
and then you can try to
basically
recruit the die from
and
your
then this
pool.
one, same dice and card mechanism, except you're racing. And I just find the racing the least interesting of the 3 for me personally. But it was a good game. I enjoyed the play of it for sure.
And it's John D. Clare, so he's done a game or
Yeah,
two.
so that's what got me into John D. Clare. I now love Ready Set Bet. I'm ready to play Edge of Darkness really bad. I got to play Custom Heroes this
Edge
year.
of Darkness, the giant card.
Yeah.
Wow, he did that one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
and
he
I
do
just,
Mystic Veil?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
And I just find that he's got a
Good job.
lot of. I know.
Those are very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is really what has put John D. Clare on my radar, and I want to play every game he has because I love Cubitos, and I still cannot get enough of this game.
Now, before you go on to your number 8, and I don't want anybody to react because I don't want to give away anything, but I see what one person at this table has done
Yeah, oh yeah.
to be
Totally.
clever.
It's not a first time either, so let's just keep
No.
going.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly
okay.
what I'm talking about. My number 8. There might be a little crossover with this one here. We'll see. But friend of the show, Sir
Ian McKellen.
Glenn Drover.
Walking.
Empire's Age of Discovery.
Oh, I'll talk about this later.
It's such a great game.
I can talk about this in 3 weeks. I love this game so much.
That negative
negative
80s. But no, so it's like a worker placement game, and you have different types of workers. You have different craftsmen and warriors and priests and things like that. And then you're going to be sending them to this one side of the board, and you're going to be doing different actions with them or sending them over to the new world.
Where you completely discover brand new worlds that have never
been discovered
by
before.
anybody else.
Right.
And when you get there, you collect all the goods that are just laying around.
Thought you were going to say people?
Yep.
Wrong continent.
Yeah. But no, it's just such a fantastic worker placement game, and it's so good.
It's so good.
It was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So good. I
Because
still
the
love this
original came out in 07?
Okay, because they had Age of
game. Age of Empires
yeah, so
3.
3.
Yep, and then after that they took all the expansions, Builder expansion, everything, put it all into one big box, Eagle Griffin Games, and it's just a big, beautiful box with all types of awesomeness inside.
So
of
you've played this.
I have played Age of Empires 3. I actually owned it.
I was gonna say this is the only one then where there's 3 people that have played it, and I have not.
Ahead of its time.
Well, it's not 3 people's list, but I'm just saying.
Just how different
I've got
workers
2
do
people's
different
list.
things and give you bonuses depending
Depending
on
on
where
what
you
worker
put
you
them.
do, the captain, if you put it in
Way
a certain
ahead
spot,
of
gives you a
its time.
bonus.
It's really
you
good.
do the priest in the New World, and he like brings more people with him.
You can
it's
you
just
get
so
buildings
many
that
things.
then give you extra abilities and bonuses.
Yep. Yeah,
Way
it's
ahead
so
of its
good.
time.
Set collection and everything. It's well done.
I love this game. I love this game so
Friend
much.
of the show.
Friend of the show, Glenn Drover.
Mike, what the hell were they talking about?
I don't know yet.
I have no idea.
You know what you did.
Let's pretend that we know so we can be clever.
No.
So my number 8 is a game that will probably always be in my top 10, even though I haven't played this one in a little while. I still love this game. This was the first game that actually just completely buried another game for me. Richard Lanius's Defenders of the Realm.
Nice.
Defenders of the
yes.
Realm, I absolutely love. It plays very similarly to Pandemic. But I like the
Much
theme.
cooler
I
theme.
like the asymmetric powers. I just like the way that it works, the way with the locations and the event deck. And
Yep.
I was
and
gonna
just
say,
the way the
pop
generals
does it
move
do
in.
the awesome card mechanic that Pandemic has? The whole cards get put back on the top thing.
No, but the cards are dual purpose, right? Because they'll have abilities on them, but they also use them to help fight the
yeah,
bosses.
so you save them to use them for
Like,
dice.
Yeah.
that you're
Oh,
gonna
this is
roll
a
when
3 blue, so I can use it for 3 blue dice against the boss, or I can use it for the ability.
I guess how do things come out on the board? Bad
There's
guys?
a darkness spreads deck, and then as you flip cards from that, it'll be mostly bad things that happen, but sometimes there's some
Okay.
good things mixed in there. too.
Sometimes it's like nothing happens, and you're like,
Like,
oh.
Oh, thank God.
But most of the time, it's like, blah, 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 and then
Add
it
an
does
orc
have
to every
a,
space without an orc.
it does have like a similar like explosion mechanic.
Correct.
Right?
You can only have so many minions, and if you should add one, then it taints, and then they explode, and you add them to the places adjacent to it.
Gotcha, Mike.
But there's like a big old stack of asymmetrical characters that are
Yes.
just fantastic. And they're all like fancy based. Like, there's like a wizard, there's like a beastmaster, like, and you can like actually change forms. And depending on what form you in, you can do different abilities. But if you're in bear form, you can't go into the towns. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of really neat things you can do.
I haven't played it.
It's so
You can
good.
you can
That's one of the-
tell that Tim and Bob have played a lot more games together than they have with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, these are from friends and family meetups that we used
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
to.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Patrick and
We're
Julia.
apparently neither.
yeah.
Patrick and Julia
out.
introduced me to this game. I was like, I must have it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I got it.
I
And
went hog wild with it, and like my nieces love that game. That's a
Yeah.
game we play when I go to the family meetings and whatnot. So
Yeah, I really like it. It's just really good. You can still find it on like the Eagle Griffin website.
actually, I did see a thing on Eagle Griffin. It was called a Defenders of the Realm closeout special. So they might be getting rid of the last bit that they've got. So
I don't really
act
have.
now.
I have no expansions for that thing. I just have the base.
You should become better friends and family with Pat and Julia because they hooked me up. Thank you.
Listen.
Yeah,
That's why he wasn't invited to the last Julia con.
that's right. It was just Mike and I. He's out.
Tim's not coming, right? Oh, thank God.
Woo.
Oh, thanks.
I mean,
for
tell him we
bringing
said
chips and
hi.
salsa.
Yeah, thanks for the chips and salsa. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good pick, Tim.
Thanks. That's my number 8. Defenders of the
Played it.
Realm.
Don't know if it's a good pick. Mine.
Just trust me, it's good.
Yeah, sure. My number
Here we
8 is an FFG game, and it did not replace Sentinels of the Multiverse for me. Sentinels of the Multiverse is still fantastic. I just looked it up. It was 57. Sentinels just didn't make it. I love that game.
I know what game this is, and it's great.
But Marvel Champions is
Fantastic.
amazing.
Man,
I
Marvel
took
back
the
to
box
back.
home. Dang it.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, two Marvel games back
That
to
must be
back.
your theme.
I
There
should
you
have
go.
left. I should have left the box here.
1/5, 20%. It's a theme. But Marvel Champions is a fantastic game where it's cooperative. Everyone has a hero. People have already talked about it before, and you fight a villain who tries to scheme. You have a fantastic asymmetric deck system where you're building your deck out of half of your character's cards and half of like universal cards, and you're kind of picking a theme like, oh, I want to be the strength guy, so you put the red cards in your deck. It's amazing. Every character I've played has felt so interestingly different, but also like thematic to their character.
Yeah, it's so
in
good.
such a
Even when
cool
you're
way.
not good with the character, it still makes sense, right?
Right.
It's
The way it
not like,
works.
oh, this character's junk. It's like, no. Like, I see what this is doing. I'm
Yeah.
just
It just
terrible
plays
at
different.
it.
Yeah.
The only issue I have with the game all as it plays a little long.
A little fiddly.
But that's kind of my fault. I've only played it at 3 and 4. I'm sure at 2 it plays a lot faster, right? And that might be the best player count for it. I don't know.
I don't know. I have a good time every time at 3 and 4.
Again, I have a
Yeah.
good time, but I can be like, this game probably shouldn't be this long.
Right.
You know, I do start feeling
The
that.
biggest thing is to have your decks made ahead of time.
Oh, sure. Yeah, to start playing instantly, sure.
Correct. Because like, building a deck could take 30, 45 minutes easy.
But yeah, I think everyone who's going to have this in their top 50 has already mentioned it. I don't remember.
So
but
it
I
was
think
like my
so.
25 or 26.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
It's
but
fantastic.
just a fantastic game. So,
Yep.
yeah. Marvel Champions.
Man, it's great. It is great.
My number 8, there already has been some crossover on this one. I'm pretty sure Tim and Bob have both already had this on their
Must
list.
be a good game.
This
Downfall of Pompeii?
is my first Eric Lang game on this list.
Oh.
Not my last one.
I know what it is because I know what his other one's going to be.
Yep, me too.
And this is Blood
Blood
Rage. I really, really enjoy Blood Rage. I really like.
40.
Was it on your list too, or was it just Tim's?
I think it was just Tim's.
Okay.
Oh, no. 50.
I thought so. I thought so.
It was not on mine.
So I just really, really like the card play system that this game has for battles. I like how you're drafting your battle deck, and then you're doing all these actions, and then when you go to plunder, all right, now I've got to use a battle card, and I know what's in play, and somebody's got it because I didn't get it. Who has that one card that's going to beat me in that battle?
And then somebody maybe has a card you didn't even know. Because
Yeah,
the
I never saw it.
drafting. Yeah.
So I love the reverse psychology. Every time there's a battle of knowing that there could be one card in play that's going to totally foil my plans.
Somebody took that card that makes me discard my first card. You think, are they going to play it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love that battle system. I've also I don't know of another territory control game before Blood Rage that gave you a reason to lose battles.
purpose.
Now, I understand that there are other games that have done this, but as far as territory control games, before Blood Rage, I had never seen this before. And I love how it's not just about winning battle. It's getting into battle and then getting those quest cards or going with the low-key strategy, which is extremely legitimate. I just thoroughly enjoy this game. It doesn't take that long. It plays pretty quick. You can get a whole game in about an hour and a half, and you really feel like you've had this epic war game where you're, outguessing other players, and it's got fantastic miniatures, which helps a lot. I really enjoy Blood Rage.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the first Eric Lang that I played and loved it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
My solution to the new players get stomped issue that this game has is play around, then start over. Because a round only
that
takes
before.
25 to 30 minutes. It's not that long. So what? An hour and a half long game goes to 2 hours. But what tends to happen is it's so difficult as a new player to start a game with a draft.
It's
That's
hard to
every game.
It's hard to understand the repercussions of all the decisions you're making.
Yeah.
So seeing how a round ends and seeing here's what happened because of the decisions you made. Oh, okay, I'll make slightly different decisions next time.
Oh man, I would have used this card then. That happens with new players every time I play Blood Rage, but I've had a lot of success just playing that first round and then starting over. And then players, okay, now I know how these cards work together. So that has worked really well for me, and the fact that the game's not that long, I think it allows for that, and that is my solution to not creaming new players and making them feel much more comfortable starting the game with a draft. So, my number 8, Blood Rage.
Nice.
Good pick. All right, my number 7. We're mostly fans of difficult co-ops,
Yeah.
Yup.
and this is must be my favorite co-op because it's the only co-op in my top 10. Spirit Island.
I get a lot of silence from the board.
You guys don't like Spirit Island?
You know I don't like
No,
it.
he doesn't like it. I've
It's
only played it
fantastic.
once.
It's such a great game, though. I just love the theme where you're playing this spirit that these locals on an island like worship and pray to, and here come these invaders from afar, and they're trying to take over the island.
It's the people from Empire's Age of Discovery.
That's right. They're coming in, like, get them out of here.
That you use the Scythe expansion for them?
Yeah, no. And then but all of the spirits are so crazy asymmetrical, and they're just so different, and there's just such a huge, probably legitimately a good 6 inches tall stack of spirits that you can choose from. And there's like
it's not as impressive when you tell them they're all an inch thick.
They're not an inch thick. All 5 of these. But no, just the crazy like abilities and stuff some of them have, and the way like some of their different tracks work and unlock different things, and you're getting so much energy, and you can play so many cards per turn, and you're playing out your discs to build like sacred sites, and that's unlocking more stuff for you. And then you've got like innate abilities, plus there's these minor powers and major powers that you get to draw cards from and add to your hand, and it's just so many different things that you can do. And like I said, like, and then there's different, I'm not saying modules, but there's different types of invaders that you can do, and the invaders that you're playing against will have different things that they will activate and do on their turn to try to increase the difficulty. And they just closed a campaign on a new expansion for it, which I backed, which should be coming sometime next year. But man, it's just such a great co-op, hard co-op.
I really like the box art on that My Little Spirit Island. What was that one called?
The new one? Especially the dragon.
Yeah,
it's drawn extremely well.
Oh, you guys have seen my drawing.
So the art is not entirely consistent.
Regular Spirit Island is fine. It's that goofy
It's
dragon. I don't know
the
what you're talking about.
Target-only version.
Yeah, that,
Whoa.
Yeah,
that goofy new one. No, I think
Someone at Target signed off on that. They're like, yeah, that
Nailed
one.
it.
that's the good one.
Sure.
I think Spirit Island is a game in concept that I'm fascinated with and feel like I really want to like. I've only played it one time, late night at a convention, and I don't even know that we finished because it was like you, me, and Aristides.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I mean, I will play again. I didn't have a terrible time like Dan did, but so I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I just knew when you said that Dan was going to be like,
Dan, why is this game so polarizing? People either love
I
this
know.
game or dislike it.
I know, and I don't know why. I found the gameplay extremely uninteresting. I don't know what else to say. And the theme does nothing for it. That might be part of it. I find that theme extremely boring. So that
I
part
thought the theme was cool.
I think it was cool
The theme
too.
was why I want to play it.
yeah. Then you'll probably like the game. I
But
don't know.
it's like crazy asymmetrical powers, like
Sure.
It
has that.
multi-use cards.
Yep.
I know I'm like shocked that he doesn't like this.
This
game.
is
I played it
Dan-
twice.
This is Dan's Foundations of Rome.
I played it twice,
Wow.
and I found it extremely uninteresting. Well, no, because I'm not then immediately saying, oh, this other game that's like it in a lot of ways. I love that game, though. I'm not saying that, so it's not exactly my Foundations of Rome.
I mean, you like a lot of the things that this game does. You just don't like this game.
Sure. Oh,
I wrote this one down. This is the Bob game so far that I want to play the most.
Good luck.
Well, wait a minute.
We'll see.
Just pick a time when
give it time.
Dan can't be there. So,
Yeah.
Never.
Dan's always there.
so my number 7 is an amalgamation of all versions of this game because every one of them that I've played so far I really like, and there's only one version of this game that I haven't played yet. It's on my shelf, new and shrink, waiting to be played. Number 7 is Clank for me.
yeah.
That includes Clank Catacombs, that includes Clank in Space, and that includes regular Clank. I am sure that I'm going to
Cheating.
love Legacy.
Hashtag cheating.
I don't care. My list. Give me some Clank.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like, hey, I want to play Clank. Yep, I'm in. This is
Clank
a
is
game
good.
that I will play at the drop of a hat anytime. I friggin' love this game. Catacombs is amazing. Sorry, Jason, you didn't have a good time with it when you played. I just think this game is great. And I love every aspect of it. For those of you that don't know, Clank is the first deck building game that I played that implemented the use of a board.
Yes.
So you have cards that will give you like attack power so you can fight monsters potentially in the lineup, sort of like an Ascension. It's got cards that will give you movement, which will allow you to move around the board. And then there are cards that give you like purchase power, right? So you can buy other cards and things like that. And then basically you're just trying to get below ground, at least in the basic version, below ground, snatch up an artifact or two, and then get back above ground before the dragon kills you. And that's going to happen because as you go down, you're gonna
Pick up artifacts.
you're going to pick up artifacts, but you're also you've got these colored cubes. Everybody's got their own colored cubes. And so as you're making noise down in the dungeon, you're adding Clank to this pile. And then when a dragon attacks card comes up, You then have to take all the Clank in that pile, put it in a bag. Now, the bag also is seeded with black cubes, which don't do anything.
Yeah.
But then you're going to draw out, depending on where the dragon marker is on that track, you're going to draw out X amount of cubes. And if your cubes get drawn, those go on your health thing, or other players' cubes, right, get drawn. It goes on their health, and then when they're out of health, dead. If you die below ground, no points. If you die above ground, you
count your deck and your items you have. And
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
get out, you get a 20-point
You get the
mastery
extra
token.
bonus. And Clank in Space basically works similarly, except you're aboard a space station. It has a modular board, which is really interesting and provides some
I really
different
don't think you're
options.
pronouncing that. I think it's in space. There you go.
Correct. And then Clank Catacombs actually introduced this tile drawing. And so then you place the tile, you can
Building
rotate
a
it.
board as you play.
But all the, you're just creating all these tracks, and that one is even harder to get out of.
It is so hard.
Because you've got to get.
very
I don't think
hard.
I've gotten out yet.
Yeah, I haven't survived a game yet out of
Yeah.
two
So you've
tries.
got to get clever
Yeah.
Gotten real
on
close.
how to get out.
I could see why. I didn't see why, like, how bad of a time Jason had, you said, whatever. But I could see, like, my first time wasn't great playing it, but I can see that I'll like the game. It does some stuff differently that you're not expecting,
think it
and
just-
it makes it feel way more difficult your first
I
time
think he
playing.
just got punished so
Right, and
badly.
so did
that
I.
It made for a very hard
And like
experience.
I said, I don't know if I would say I had fun the first time
Sure.
I played, but I see the fun game under that. I'm just like, okay, I need to build my deck like this next
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Like
That's
I
kind of how
can
Blood
see the
Rage
game.
is.
Sure.
You guys
Pull it
already
back.
filmed the review for that, right?
We did.
Yep.
We did. It was reviewed very poorly. I'm just kidding.
We all hated
We
it.
loved it.
Hated it.
Highest Clank on my list was 74. It's in my top 100. I like the Clank games. I don't know.
Yeah, I love Clank. There's one back here.
Yep.
Paul Denon, and the new one. So Clank was originally done by a collaboration between Renegade and Direwolf. It was Direwolf's game that they brought to Renegade for distribution, and Renegade helped them tweak and everything. And then Clank in Space and Clank Acquisitions Incorporated all came out sort of under that banner. And then Direwolf split from Renegade amicably, so they could do their own stuff. They retained the Clank IP.
They were very open about it. It was really cool. Them basically saying, like, we needed them to
Yeah.
help us. We were small, and they helped us, and it was awesome. And now we think we're good enough to do our own thing here.
It's kind of a nice story, and that's
Yeah.
kind of that's why
Like,
I
wow,
like
business can be not so cutthroat.
and again, that's kind of why I like to bring it up, because I just think that it is a nice thing to see these two companies that worked really well together split, and but only
no bad blood.
Yeah, no bad blood. It was all like above
part of me
board.
wonders, and I know that Clank has been super successful for them and everything, but part of me wonders because it seemed like it was around the Dune Imperium time, and part of me is like, was Dune Imperium that like good?
Maybe
Yeah, I don't know. Like that good sale wise and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
that they don't need Clank
Yeah,
maybe.
that they don't need Renegade and stuff, right?
or
whatever.
Direwolf doesn't
Yeah,
need
whatever.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
what did Direwolf do? Dune Imperium as well?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
Renegade
pretty sure.
did, but I didn't know if Direwolf
It's
did or
Dire-
not.
I'm
Okay.
like 70% sure it's Dire
But
Wolf.
I mean, yeah, but also Direwolf, I think now could live off a Clank if they needed to, with all
Sure.
the stuff that they put out for it. But yeah, I mean, but also, right, like this is now an independent company that hopefully, just keeps banging out new titles, right? Because
Right.
I just like having more companies to choose from, and support. So, but yeah, so Clank is my number 7, all versions of it. It's probably even the legacy version when I do play it.
Right.
But I do own it. I just need a group, because Clank is a game that I absolutely want to play all the way through.
Yep.
Like I don't want to just do 2 or 3 and the group falls apart. It's like, well, I got this partially
Right.
played.
Spoiler, it's 80 missions.
I love it.
I don't care.
It's not.
It's Clank. I'll play it 80. I played Clank 80 times. I don't care.
Renegade is not listed as having publishing credit
Right.
for Dune Imperium.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think Direwolf, like that was their big. Again, I mean, there's always a bunch
first
of
step
publishers
out.
depending on countries and blah blah blah, right? But I thought that was kind of the one that was like they were like, look, we can do it.
Yeah.
Like I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, and some people seem to like that game.
Yeah, some people, yeah.
It's okay.
Zach, we'll probably hear about how much Dan likes it pretty soon.
You guys are insane.
Anytime now.
You guys are insane.
Maybe here.
My number 7.
Not yet.
My number 7 was number 4 last time on
And
my
it wasn't
list.
plummeted. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And I mean that's an inconsequential drop. It basically
Right.
dropped because
Sinking ship.
There's a couple new games in my top 10, and also other ones have slid around. But this is an Awakened Realms game,
Oh.
Nemesis.
Lords of Hellas.
Ooh. Sorry.
Lords of Hell is amazing, guys.
It's so good.
I don't even know what else to say. So they've talked about someone. Yeah, Tim talked about because the win conditions.
My number 15.
15.
It was my number 15.
Lords of Hell by Awakened Realms is a cyberpunk Greek game where you are controlling heroes and hoplites and trying to accomplish one of the win conditions. It has amazing, useful miniatures, one of the best expansion terrain packs I've ever seen because of how actual useful it is for the gameplay. As you are building up the strength of the monuments in the game, you're literally building them, and they're getting taller and towering over the game. Everything is just so useful. When you pray to the monuments, your little priests actually fit inside so that they can take up the slot, so you can see how many priests can pray max at a certain place. The action system where you're picking actions and eliminating them, and eventually you have to build a monument action to clear your board, is just a really fun action selection system to learn how to take advantage. All the win conditions are fun to do. I do think there is a hierarchy of easiest to hardest, but I've also seen them all win. So
I've seen everyone win.
I do think the hold the monument's the easiest. But it's just because that relies the least on other players, right? You just hold a monument, and then they have to come to you, to where the other ones, you have to go do something, right? But just fantastic games. All the expansions seem fascinating for it. I unfortunately don't have any because they were very hard to get. Most of them are near impossible to get, and some of them are just kind of overpriced. But yeah, Lords of Hell is an amazing game. I cannot wait for Lords of Ragnarok to come around to see what they've done. I've watched some gameplay videos on how the new action selection system works and stuff in this one. I think this is a solid system, and I know, Lords of Hell I love. Lords of Ragnarok's coming. I can't wait for Lords of Egypt and stuff, right? I really want to see
just
them.
do more?
Yeah, I really want to see them just branch out and do all these. So anyway, that is my number 7. Is that what it was?
Yeah. 7.
It was my number 32, and that was after just one play. And then I backed Ragnarok that week. So
I remember you pulling it up while you were playing, and we were like, there's a new edition, and you were like looking it up on Kickstarter. You're like, I don't know, I might back this. So yeah, so
it was a big reason I wanted to play it that night.
Yeah.
I was deciding if I wanted it, and I'm like, well, there's one way to find out. Let's play the old version. So yeah, great choice. Okay, so Mike, I heard you were a Stefan Feld game fan. Yes, okay. Correct. Yeah, I snuck that in there. You like that correction? I heard you were a fan of Stefan Feld games. That is correct. I had Bora Bora and Trajan in the teens, and I've got Castles of Burgundy at number 7. Ooh. This was probably one of the first 5 games I bought as a gamer. It was the first game I ever ranked a 10, and it today is still in my top 10 after 10 years now. I still thoroughly enjoy this dice placement game. I like randomness in games because I feel like that gives a game more replayability. I feel like that changes aspects of the game from game to game. I'm not just setting up the game the exact same way every single time I play it. I need a little bit of variation in some games to have replayability. And that's why I really enjoy Castles of Burgundy. The dice gives you something different, a totally different puzzle to kind of deal with every time you roll, which is every round, but you also don't know which tiles are going to come out every round. So it's this kind of tactical figuring out, I didn't get the dice I want. Let me see if I can get some workers to mitigate my dice. Really, just a great dice placement game. This is the highest dice placement game on my list, and I still really enjoy Castles of Burgundy. I cannot wait for this deluxe edition from Awakened Realms. Oh my gosh. I have almost everything for this game coming. It'll be here sometime next year.
Is it Awakened Realms, or was
Castles
it just on
Burgundy
GameFound?
Is doing Awakened Realms?
Well,
or
it was
what?
on GameFound. They did a GameFound did a.
Awakened Realms is doing the Castles of Burgundy reprint.
So the miniatures will be okay.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's so
you're
weird.
taking a game that has always been known for not having the best art, not very good components, very thin player boards with very small, not very thick chits, to now Awaken Realms to where it's a dual layered player board, and the actual player board part, this game would always give you like 2 different player boards, and you can pick which side you want to use. Well, now you've got a regular player board with an insert, and it's got all of these that you can just flip them and then choose the one you want that lays into that insert. Yeah, all the castle miniatures. I didn't get everything. I didn't go all in because there's this whole terrain pack where literally every tile can be a miniature you lay down.
Dan and I explained the importance of terrain packs when it comes to Awakened Realms.
In this game, it's not needed. Like, they're just going on your player board and they sit there. Like, that's what they do. I mean, they give you miniatures for the castles. That's cool enough. Cool, fine. But at most, you can build 3 of them in a game. So it's like, and they're just going to sit there. You're not moving them around. But yeah, this reprint looks amazing. I still really love this game. It's still a 10 out of 10 game for me. No.
So question. Those pictures look great. I also did not know it was Awakened Realms. That's very interesting. Did they make the gameplay interesting this time?
Well, they did add a few extra modules. There's several modules for this game already, but they added even more modules for this version.
I only played it once. It was super long ago. I'll also only played it 2 players. I don't know if that makes a difference, Mr. Expert. But I only played it once at 2 players, and I just thought it was very unengaging. I didn't like it, but
never played.
You know.
I really like the combos.
That's your catchphrase for sure. Yeah, you like the combos.
I like how I can play
like the cheddar cheese or like the
pretzel and cheddar.
Yeah, Pizzeria Pretzel is definitely my favorite. These new ones are called the Buffalo Wings ones.
Yeah, pass on that.
Yeah, I kind of like them.
Gross.
They're probably like salt and vinegar chips. Like the more like they taste gross, but then you just can't stop eating them. And you're like, oh.
But no, I just like how I can place a tile, and that allows me to place another tile, and then that may give me a free action, and then I'll score 12 points when I do that, 20 points when I do that, and another 13 points when I do that. And it feels really fulfilling when you can do all that stuff on like one turn. And I've happened to have played this game online probably like 150 times. I've played this game online a lot.
Wow.
So that helps. So.
All right. So, number 6. I like Mind Clash games. I like their crazy art, their busy boards.
This is down to number 6? I thought this would be higher.
Quiet you. And their awesome iconography they've got. This one adds dinosaurs.
Oh.
Perseverance, Castaway, Chronicles.
What?
Is fantastic.
This is that high?
It's fantastic.
I haven't played it yet.
It's so good. It's complicated, sure, but it's Mind Clash.
Well, it's Mind Clash.
But you're like, you're hiring your people, you're setting dino traps, you're catching dinosaurs, you're trying to protect your territories down below. You're also voting to try to get control of the different areas in the camps, and then like depending on what you get, you can add more camps to the different.
Did you play it?
I haven't played it.
Okay, because this conversation sounds like he's trying to convince you that you don't. He
was thinking something else.
Yeah, okay.
He was thinking something else.
Yeah, that will be higher on his list.
Quiet.
Okay.
Maybe. But no, it's so cool. And then like as the dinosaurs break through your lines of defense, depending on what they are, they attack different things. So like the big stompy ones destroy your buildings. All the fast raptor ones will eat your people. Like it's really cool.
Mike,
like,
can you write down Stompy, please?
Stompy is a word.
That one. My bad.
Not in reference to dinosaurs.
Over here.
Yeah, because some of them just stomp through things. Stomp.
I missed that one. Thank you.
Yeah. It's not like
I've only played the first
a Brachiosaurus. It's a Stompy.
I haven't tried the second season because both seasons came together in the same box. And I played the first season, and it was fantastic.
Replayable?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know anything about how that season works.
Well, because the way it's just kind of like where you're going to pick up the game. So in season 1, you're just showing up, and you're on the beach, you're setting up your defenses, and so on and so forth. Season 2, you're have an established headquarters, and you're actually branching out into like the jungle
trying to
and stuff
explore.
like
But the gameplay itself isn't a story you play through. It's just
correct.
You're
it's
on this,
like,
and then it's just the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're either here doing this or you're there doing that.
Right.
And it's just 2 different games, but you use some of the same minis,
Sure.
and some of the same things. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, this
Super
looks
cool.
fascinating. I remember when we had those player boards out during an unboxing. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
It looks like a lot going on, but like they do such a good job with their iconography that once it's explained to you, it's like, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense now.
Well, sure.
I mean,
Anachrony is another game by them that is like, it looks very intimidating when it's set
Right.
up, and if you're going through
Right.
the player board
it's
and you're going
busy.
through the and then you
Tricarion's
learn
the
the
same way.
iconography.
Tricarion,
and, they're pretty good with all that stuff for
Yep,
sure.
for sure.
I love it.
Man, well, that was interesting. I did
Yeah.
not see that coming.
Didn't see that one coming. I don't know where.
My number 6, everybody will see coming. It is a game that I absolutely love. It is my favorite 2-player game of all time. It is one of my favorite themes because I'm a nerd, and that is Star Wars Rebellion.
Whoop, whoop.
I friggin' love this game. Bob and I have had some fantastic battles playing this game. I don't even care if I
Yeah.
get smoked when I play this game because I have
It's
a good
good.
time just trying to pull off some of the combos, right? And like the things you can do that
I
are from
wanna-
the movie.
Oh yeah, or like I want to like convert them to the dark side.
Yeah.
I'm gonna capture your Leia and convert her this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just this is just one of the this game is definitely in the top 5 that takes an IP and really makes you feel like you're in that IP.
Yes, it's one of the best like Star Wars.
It's my favorite Star Wars game.
I almost added a Y to that.
He's
I almost said
watching
Star
himself
Wars.
now.
Well, I already had that one written down.
Oh, did I say
so-
Star Warsy already?
Oh no, sorry, it was Star Warsiness.
Oh, but you just said it.
Oh,
Got it.
But yeah, so in Star Wars Rebellion, you are either playing as the Empire or the Rebellion, and the Empire is going through this deck of cards, the probe deck, and it's all the planets that are on the board.
Yep.
But the Rebel player has taken one of those cards out of the deck, and they have chosen that to be where they're hiding their Rebel base.
yes.
And so the Empire is going around, they're landing on different planets, or they're exploring different planets, trying to find out where the rebels are. But then there's places where we obviously are. And the rebels are going around and converting people to join the rebellion, right? And that's just by flipping over the token, right? Because there's like the neutral, there's
Right,
Empire.
neutral
and
is
there's-
nothing. Yep, and then you have like so there's a subjugation token for the Empire, which means if you have troops there, you're
Right.
there, or you have a loyalty token, you flip it over, and they're actually loyal to the Empire.
Right,
But yeah.
and just the way that you select to take your actions, and then there's tracks on the side
Right,
of the board.
because
that
your
you can
leaders
move
are
up and
dual
down.
use. You can either use them to plan missions, you can use them to activate star systems to move stuff in, or you can send them out to try to counter other players' missions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you need them in reserve to counter the missions.
Correct.
And then and they also have like icons are on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
so there's things that they're good at or could be used for.
And I know, as the Empire, you want to do all these really cool missions and build all this stuff. No. Explore.
No.
Leave your troops on planets because that cuts off, like, so we start closing in and they try to leave. And Tim,
No,
you
build your-
tell them you're losing strategy. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to help the rebellion out.
Oh, okay,
'Cause
yeah.
You're evil. You're fundamentally evil.
Well,
I was going to say,
perspective.
it's very obvious you prefer playing Empire, right?
I really enjoy the Empire, but I'm pretty good at it.
Okay.
So I usually play Rebels.
We
'cause they're
were
harder.
asked, was that on the live stream the other night?
Maybe, yeah.
We were asked what side we preferred playing, and I think all three
Okay.
of us said Rebellion. Is that
Yeah.
right? I don't remember his answer.
Yeah,
I
I
like-
definitely prefer to be the Empire, but I do good with the Rebels, so I usually let the new player play the Empire because I think they're easier.
I think the Empire is easier to at least learn and
Yeah.
start off with.
But the Rebels can be so cool because they you want to do the missions. You have to get through those objectives
the
and move
rebellion.
that
You
marker.
need to do the missions. You
Yep.
really need to
You
do the
do.
missions.
I think that live stream question, actually, they were asking what side you wanted to play about a totally different game. And I just smushed Star Wars Rebellion right into the conversation
seriously?
and
Okay.
forced it to be
About
that
that.
question. Yes,
Nice.
exactly.
Yeah,
So-
but this is a fantastic game.
Best
Also,
two-player game there is ever.
and also very highly recommend the expansion. It really streamlines
Yep. The New Hope, the combat.
and everything.
Yep.
And it adds like the Rogue
cool-
One characters and stuff anyway. So
Yeah,
a
and
lot
that
of
adds some
people like
cool other
that.
vehicles too. Where because usually you have like red dice and black dice, and then like so certain types of ships are easier to take out other ships. Where like the X-wings is easy to take out a TIE fighter, but with an X-wing it's really hard to take out a Star Destroyer. So it just makes with the die rolls it makes it be that way. But then with the green dice you add in, all they have is direct hits on them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I friggin' love this game.
it's fantastic.
Great game.
me as well. It was my number 25.
Right on.
I guess I can look up really quick where it was because I probably have it rated. I just didn't even think about that all that time you were talking. Nope, I don't have it rated. It's good. I want that new combat. Okay, so my number 6 was number 3.
Oh,
Last time.
It's twice as worse.
Plummeting.
What was it? Just kidding. This is my favorite Stonemaier game, and that is Tapestry. Tapestry is a fantastic misgenred game.
Yes.
Of Civilization.
Yeah, it's definitely not a Civilization.
It's not very civvy
in the way that you might think that it is. I will say though, it does have that passive feeling. I do like the laying out your Civilization cards, and you kind of see the path you took. Like you went from fire to dictatorship to dystopia, like, and you're just like, we had a rough go as a civilization. So that's cool. I also really like it has Stonemaier does this, they like it, but it has the neighbor thing where in order to research light bulbs, I need to have a certain technology advanced, or one of my neighbors can have that technology advanced. Because basically, as a civilization spatially, I can see what they're doing over there, and I can kind of copy it. I can be like, oh, that's a very interesting new water irrigation system you guys are using. And I really like that thematic thing. I really just wish the first expansion that came out was really cool. The second one looks really cool. I haven't played with it yet. I really want them to add an expansion just because it's the only real complaint I hear from people is that the middle board
is nothing.
It feels anti-thematic. It's just a very simple area control little thing that you're doing out there. Like the tiny Sudoku board that you have is way more interesting than the middle of the game board. And if they just came out with an expansion that slightly made that combat more interesting, you know, just and they have come out with civilizations that affect it more, you know, and that's kind of the way they've been trying to do it. Like civilizations that are traders that can put pieces on pieces with other people and take the resource there, and then that can block fighting because now there's two pieces there and stuff, right? Like, so they've tried to do stuff like that. I really think the only real complaint I hear from that game is the middle board is kind of boring, and I love the game. I do agree that's the most boring part. Come out with an expansion that just makes that slightly more interesting for people, and I think that this game will move even higher.
Yeah, Tapestry is really good. This must just be out of my top 50. I didn't talk. It's not on my list, but I absolutely love this game. Yeah. It's a great game.
Fantastic game. All the different asymmetric civilizations are so interesting to play. Again, I have an obsession with that Sudoku board, and the components for this game are off the charts. When this game came out, it was the golden standard. I think that it's got to run for its money now, stuff like My Father's Work and stuff, you know. But when this came out, I mean, the paper,
the board
felt fancy,
rough on
like everything in this game was just high quality amazingness, and for a pretty reasonable price, I think, for the game you're getting. It's expensive, but I think for the game you're getting, it's reasonable.
Like $60.
It's up there.
There's a lot of game in there.
Yeah.
A lot of game in there. Lots of great components.
Also, inside the box shows you how to put the frickin' miniatures back in. Because they're all different sizes and they fit in certain spaces. So good job there. This is a company that cares about ease of play. And they do a great job with this one. Yes, there are some erratas for the game to try to balance out.
Doesn't kill it for me that there's
but it's
erratas.
totally fine. Especially because the errata is just a thing you print off their website for free. And if you get the expansion, it comes with the errata in it. Like in the rule book, on the back of the rule book, it's like, hey, here's the changes that we made. You know, I think they did a great job. Tapestry is fantastic.
Yep, really good.
We've gone full circle now. How so, Mike? Well,
how so, Mike?
The first the first time I showed up to Meeple, that was when you guys were still doing it at the hotel.
Oh my gosh!
And that was
pre-COVID.
That was the last Meeple before COVID happened. And you couldn't do it for a year and a half. And I'm like, oh, fantastic timing.
So Mike was the harbinger of doom.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I know it's all my fault.
Patient
so
zero.
when I went to, we've gone full circle because when I went to that meetup, played Clank.
Right.
Which was your number 7 or 8.
Yep, 7.
And then the other game that I got to play that day was Tapestry.
Hey.
That's a good day of gaming, man.
Going full circle here. It's crazy. Now, I've talked about this before, too. The first time I showed up for Spencer's game night, played the Lords of Hellas. Yep. So here we are going full circle.
We introduced you to good games. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what I'm hearing.
I didn't get to play. I didn't get to play any of those Meeple games with you guys.
Oh crap!
So,
Listen, you gotta be look at the meetups. If you want to sit at a table with like one of the board members,
I will actually
show up.
Sign in.
I will actually say the experience wasn't the greatest for either of those games because I got stuck with a player that always had to be reminded it was their turn and would not pre-play in them whatsoever. Oh, it's my turn. Oh, what am I gonna do? But anyway,
wait.
Don't do that.
Was it you?
Now, I will sometimes not know when it's my turn because if I'm focused on what I need to do on my turn, I'm not going to automatically know that you're done. You just got to go, okay, your turn. I'm here. Like, you know, I'm looking at my board and what's available and, you know, a quick little, all right, I'm done and we're in.
I always try to get one of those for the next person.
Yeah, but like
Right. Well, that's what it is.
I do as well. Other people are guilty of that. But like, if you have to be reminded and you didn't know what to do on
Right.
your turn,
Yeah.
like double.
What are
If
you
you're
doing at
focusing
the
on what
table?
you're gonna do,
Double
then fine.
whammy. What were you doing?
I get it when it's like, Tim, it's your turn. It's like,
Oh, is it
I
my
know.
turn? Okay, hold on.
I'm just trying, like I get
Yeah.
that because it's some games, man.
Depends
you
on
really,
the game, sure.
Wayfarers.
Yeah.
Like you would come back and you're like, I know, I've been thinking the whole
Yeah,
time.
I've been
but
thinking the whole time. I
don't
still
know
have
what to
30
do.
options. I don't know what I'm doing.
Anyway, but I'm still here. They can't get rid of me. So number 6, man. So this is where like I said, my 4, 5, 6 could have flip flopped. I even talked to Tim like weeks ago about rolling a die for these 3 games.
And I said Dan would hate that.
Yeah,
That is his first
and
thing I
I
said.
still love the idea because these games like
Dan, do you like that idea?
Rank them.
he hates it. I did, and I
Sorry
am
about
not,
that. I don't know if that
I
spiked.
am not changing their order, so I just want to let you know. Out of these 6 remaining games, I also want to say of the 5, I am expecting crossover on 5 out of the 6.
Wow.
So 2 with you, 1 with you, and 1 with you.
Okay, so
I bet you got 2 with
I
me.
see how it is.
So wait a minute. How did I
So
get
anyway,
5?
I don't know. What's number
Anyway,
6?
my number 6 is Wonderland's War.
Nice.
I love this game.
Fantastic.
I haven't even heard of this game.
I mean,
What is
we have actually pretty soon here. We're going to start filming our best games we played for the first time in 2022.
New to us this year.
You'd already
You were-
have it.
You are going.
Except-
You are going to know very soon how much Bob and I love this game, and we will not shut up until these 2 play it. We also will not film that list until these 2 play it
Well,
because
until he
this
plays
game is amazing. This
I won't
game,
make it Saturday.
This
so.
game
Friday.
does everything you want in a game. It's got some push your luck. It's got variable player powers. It's got variable upgraded player powers. It's got bag building. It's got area majority. It's got card drafting. It's got, oh my gosh.
Amazing art.
It's got awesome art.
Awesome
It's got
components.
incredible components. This game does everything I want in a game. And the more I play this, the more this game is just going to shoot up my list.
Okay.
Well,
It's going to go up farther. No,
Yeah.
I almost moved it up to 4. Like I said, this could be my 4. That's how close these are. But I absolutely love Wonderland's War. If you have not played this game yet, go play it. I bought retail, and then I know Bob went out and got the deluxe copy.
Come on.
And then they
Bob doesn't waste his time with retail.
then I'm like, well, I've got retail, I've got coin capsules, I'm fine. Then I saw the deluxe getting reprinted. I'm like, I'm not fine anymore.
Now I have to have those.
I backed it with everything, including the new miniature rings, including the expansion.
so
the
you're just
upgraded
hoping
boards.
that Tim or I likes your retail version
That's-
of the
No,
buy.
Andrew's
Oh.
already tried to claim call
that's
dibs on it.
true.
Oh,
That's
he's
what he
already
was
trying to
talking
buy it
about.
off
Yeah.
of
Listen,
me.
Andrew.
This game is so good. Hold on.
Oh.
That our friends, the Board Game Mechanics,
Sorry,
who have a
hold on.
strict like no more than $20 rule on a game,
It's 50,
went
but
out
yes.
and got it because fantastic.
Yeah, Jason and Katie love this game so much.
did.
People, we were talking about this on the live stream too. We're gonna keep bringing up the live stream. Watch it. We were talking about this in the live stream. People just will not shut the hell up about this game. Like I get
It's
it. It's
so
a good,
good.
game.
It's good.
Jeez.
It
I
does-
try not to overhype it, but it's really good.
It really does everything. It's really good.
It is the definition of overhyped at this point.
yeah.
I hope I like it.
I hope you guys do too. I'm a little worried because I know you don't like the whole the bag push your luck thing, but
But
I
that's the nice
think
thing about it too, though, is that you don't have to win, even with the push your luck. You just
don't.
because like you're only aiming
hear
for
that,
like,
Bob?
certain things.
Take
you don't,
your
you,
advice.
you don't have,
don't
to,
have to
win
win.
the fight to win the war. All right, you
Yeah.
can lose the battle, but still win the war.
yeah, I think what this game does extremely well is that in a lot of bag building games, you're like, okay, I'm only allowed to pull out this many number of chips and then I stop. Or Quacks is, okay, just keep pulling until you can't anymore. Wonderland's War incentivizes you to stop in many different ways. I may not want to win this battle and risk busting because I could complete a quest and I need to stop on a certain part to complete my quest. I may need to stop because the last active chip I pulled needs to be that active chip
An
for
odd
a
or an
quest.
even, or-
Or I need to stop on an
At
even
7,
number
yeah.
or an odd number, or I need to win a battle in this area. There's so many things that incentivizes you to stop that is not just, okay, I'm just going to keep pulling until I can't anymore. That's not what this game is. It really gives you so many reasons to stop. It is fantastic. You don't have to win a battle to have a productive battle. You still get to do a lot of stuff just by staying alive and not busting.
And if you're not part of the battle, you get to bet on who you think's going to win the battle.
The wager mechanics.
Yeah.
That was
you're
done really well in Spartacus. Could it possibly be done better?
Yeah, you're just sitting there watching the other players, and you're vested because you want
Right.
that player to win because you get an extra chip if they do.
That, Tim.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
You
keep
got plenty
going.
of chips in the bag. Come
So
on.
we've talked about it enough, so I'll stop. That way
It's
I can talk
fantastic.
about it more when Bob brings it up.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
want to
That's
be
crazy
Mad
talk.
Hatter.
He's there.
Oh, he's
One of the best ones.
oh, he's so fun
Okay,
to
then
play.
I definitely want to be Mad
Oh my
Hatter.
gosh, he's so fun.
All
I'm
right.
not playing unless I can be Mad Hatter.
What the hell?
That's okay.
And
You do it on
Dan's
Friday,
playing.
and you
No,
can play
no.
on Saturday.
We're gonna play it twice.
I'm not playing unless I can be Mad Hatter and Dan's playing.
It's so freaking
So
good.
Bob will bring his copy.
Play this game,
We'll play
people.
Mike's
Hey,
copy.
two Mad
Yeah,
Hatters.
2 Mad Hatters.
Okay.
We win.
That's fine.
You guys can fight over the deluxe chips then.
Mustard.
A very merry on birthday
To you.
to you.
Let's not be silly.
All right.
I think we just made Mike's day.
Mustard.
I love saying that. Mustard. I love the way he says that.
Okay, so we're in our top 5 now.
Top 5.
This is gonna be a 2.5 hour snoozer at this rate.
Yeah, I know. My number 5
Oh, boy.
is the best 2-player game that's out there. It takes
Oh.
one of my favorite themes and makes it into a fantastic board game.
Missed it by that much.
Star Wars Rebellion.
Well, I've never heard of this one.
By that much. I was like, oh, man.
So this got pushed out of my top 5 by another game, obviously.
Okay. Obviously.
That's a good call.
That's usually how that works.
But this could have very easily been in my top
Yeah.
5.
Number
It's so
5
good.
is blank. Guess I could have put something else there.
Anyways. Well, yeah, we just talked about it for, a good 5-10 minutes, so I'm not going to go into it anymore, but Star Wars Rebellion.
I knew this had to be in your top 5.
Yeah.
Because I was
Hadn't mentioned it yet.
I'm pretty sure Bob has talked about it, and I know
Yeah,
Bob
yeah.
loves this game. I thought as much as me, but apparently like a little bit more than me.
A little bit. Or I haven't played that other game that pushed it out.
You have.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not as good then.
Yeah, no, awesome pick.
Yeah,
awesome pick.
yeah.
God, Star Wars Rebellion, so good.
Really good.
My number 5 is a game that I just finally got Mike to play with me. Bob likes this game, but can't get his copy played because we always play my copy.
Oh, yeah.
It is Gamelin Games. It is my favorite game of theirs. It's actually like the only game of theirs that I genuinely love. And that is Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. This game is so good. It is a true 4X game, tons of asymmetrical abilities. I know that Mike talked about it in a previous episode, right? It's on your list?
Did. It was.
It jumped on your list.
After one play, it was my number 28.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just love this game. It's great components, awesome table presence, multiple paths to victory, all kinds of different things you can do, to be successful. All the factions play very differently, and just the variety of strategies that you can implement. Even if you're still going for like the same strategy as somebody else, it doesn't even really impede your ability to do what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? So like we could both be going for exploration and upgrading our stuff in different ways to do it, right? Because all that does is going to trigger the end game. And then you're going to go the scoring off of that and how well you built up your own civilization. And oh boy, this has got the thing where you can trigger end game but not win. Is that?
You mean that thing that's in, 70% of
I know,
games?
right? But for some
pretty
reason, there's an
large.
irrational hatred for that, at least with one person we know. But no, this game just does so many things right for me. If you play a faction and you don't like it, well, next time just play a different faction because there's so many different
so
ones.
many to choose from.
And they do different things. And it just does, it's got, the bird faction. So you literally, you have an island that is in the air. So it's got a stand, you raise that island up, you play it on there. If you play as the merfolk, right, you put this blue,
You got to like cut a hole in the table and fill
blue
it with water.
translucent sheet over one of the tiles, and that tile is underwater. It's just really neat. Lots of neat ideas, and I just have a great time with this. I'm really glad you enjoyed it, Mike, because I did
A lot.
have talked
Yeah,
it
me
up
too.
for ages. So the fact that you did play it and it made your list made me really happy.
Yeah.
I just think it's a
I
fantastic.
mean,
game.
ranked
More-
28th, you'd think you'd trade Dwellings of Everdell for that.
I already
Well,
traded your Frosthaven for that.
crap.
He's already trying to make a deal to get me to come off Dwellings for it. Problem is, lots of people are trying to move on from Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, and meanwhile, Dwellings is still very difficult to get. So I gotta hang on to Dwellings for now. Very difficult to get still. Even another reprint, still hard to get.
I haven't played it. I don't know anything about it, either of them.
I'll trade you Dan's Marvel Remix and Bob's Frosthaven for it.
Wow.
I don't even own my Frosthaven yet.
I'll sell it and then play somebody
I
else's
feel like
campaign.
I'm giving up. Like this is an unfair deal. I'm really giving up.
Oh,
a
you
lot
are
here.
you are giving up a lot. That's true. All right, I'll give up Dan's Jaws of the Lion. I don't know.
I don't know that.
Even better. So it don't even hurt you.
All right, Dan.
So
Wow
my number 5. Nothing to go into really crazy here. The only thing that I'll mention is I think if I did my numbers right, it's one of the only 3 games on my list that was on my other list and went up.
Oh,
Right?
cool.
The other 2 were Court of the Dead and U-Boot. Both went up slightly. And this one is 5, and last time it was 6.
Ooh.
Skyrocketing.
Just with a bullet.
I don't know why. This is just where it landed this time, and I'm super happy with that, and that's just one. It's the perfect
Wow.
small party game for me. It's perfect. I have 0 issue with this game, except the markers that came with the first edition kind of suck, but who cares? I have plenty of markers in my house.
Yeah. If that's the worst thing about that game, you're
Right.
doing
and
fine.
for how cheap it is and everything,
Yeah.
I can totally see the argument, though. Yes, the developers should provide you with the tools you need. You should not have to buy a game and then supply your own stuff. I just don't care because the game is so cheap and it is so good. Everyone, I'm sure, knows what it is, but literally the basic premise is there's a card with 5 words on it. I pick a number, 1 through 5. I'll say 3. I don't see the card. Everyone else sees the card, and they write a 1-word clue, and then they show each other without showing me, and any words that are the same cancel each other, and then I see all the clues that are left, and I guess the word.
And he always guesses Batman.
I always guess Batman first if I say 1.
Oh, because you know it's a
3.
I thought it was a 3.
I can't remember. Yeah,
I thought it was 3, and
Batman's
you said 3.
Sorry, Spartacus is 1.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
How many words
I
are
am.
allowed in your clue again?
Just 1.
Just 1.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how many guesses you get? Just
many?
1.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 2.
Yeah, it's like
I just love. I
theme.
get asked that question every time I teach the game.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I just,
yeah.
I had to throw it in.
Yeah.
You just like slowly slide the box into frame. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. Fantastic party game. If you have not picked up just one, it might be my number 1. Well, Marvel Remix is now up there too, but it might be my number 1 for like just must have like family game night games. Just own it because it's going to go over like wildfire on those days.
Yep.
Yeah,
Great game.
It was my number 30, and yeah, if I'm going to a meetup, any meetups or gaming with family or friends that don't game that much, just one is always going in the bag every single time. So yeah, great pick.
It is definitely a game I've played most with my family.
So my number 5, another game I am expecting some crossover with. This will be my Mind Clash game on the list. This is my favorite worker placement game of all time. And we've talked about this game so much because Anachrony is amazing. Awesome. I just love how this game does the time travel. I really like how if you tell people the story that this cataclysm's going to happen, and then you're going to get this resource that allows you to travel back in time, so you're going to be borrowing goods from yourself in the future, but in the future you have to give those goods to yourself again, otherwise you'll create an anomaly in the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
I love
Sorry, what?
that.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that.
Everybody
Great
I've
Scott!
explained this like premise to, they're just like, what?
Yeah.
Time travel in a board game? I'm like, right?
Pull it off.
Yeah,
and then
it's done really well.
like the mechanisms feel like time travel, and it's just really, really good. I love how you're doing that planning phase with the exosuits. Well, why do I have to wear an exosuit to go to a worker placement?
Must have expansion for that.
Because, yes, the exosuits you absolutely need, because without the exosuit miniatures, you're literally just placing your worker on a cardboard chit.
A cardboard chit on a cardboard chit.
And so otherwise you got a miniature and your chit sits in
It
it
actually
and
slides
looks
into the mech.
like a mech.
But he's piloting.
Yeah,
It
it
looks
looks
awesome.
really cool. But another thing, a thematic explanation. Why do I need an exosuit to go to my worker placement spots? Well, because the world is slowly becoming uninhabitable, hence this cataclysm that happens. So you need an exosuit to survive the world. So you need to plan out how many exosuits you're going to need in the world.
Yeah.
Just so many good thematic explanations for the mechanics in this game. really makes it sing. It's really crunchy. It's really, really good.
It's got great iconography. It's got an A side, which everybody has the same basic abilities, or you flip them over and there's a B side asymmetrical for each of the different, because they're like, the factions all have different like ways of worship and whatnot. Like you have people who are like worshiping the cataclysm and trying to bring it sooner. You got people who are into the whole plant life. You got the like cyborg type people. There's just so many different people that you can do. And then I don't think you've played with the expansion with the
blinking.
Oh, the blink is so cool. So in one of the expansions they just released, there's a new resource, and if you're in your exosuit and you're outside doing stuff, you can take actions and spend your, I think it's called Flux, and it allows you to blink. So it allows you to be in 2 different places at one time. So you take it from one worker placement spot and move it to another worker placement spot. And if you have pilots, they can do it without issue. But if you have other people trying to pilot that and do it, they're not used to it. So you've got like a stress die that you've got to roll that you're going to have problems with because they might not blink correctly. And it's just so cool. Like, I'll never not play with that expansion.
Sounds great.
It's so fantastic.
Yeah, I need to use that expansion the next time I play.
Yep. It doesn't like. I know it looks like more. I mean, it is more technically, but it's really compared to what you're already doing. Adding that little bit in there,
Not
it's
that much.
Yeah, it's not much.
This was 44 on my list, and Bob hasn't mentioned it yet.
Yeah.
I hate that game.
I know. I thought there might be. I thought.
It's a good game, but it's not on the list.
Yeah, right.
Quit looking at me like that.
We already know.
All right, so number 4. I have probably logged more hours on this game than any other game ever. Well, except for maybe Final Fantasy 11.
I was going to say, are you counting digital?
Yes, I'm counting
Okay.
digital with this too, because even IRL, like when my old roommate used to live there, hours upon hours were spent with this game set up on the table.
Just in one playthrough.
In just one playthrough. Axis and Allies, specifically the Spring 1942 edition. Fantastic. Like the little minis on there. Like I love World War II games. And you got aircraft carriers with your little planes can actually sit on your aircraft carriers and they move around the oceans. You got battleships, destroyers, submarines. You've got bombers, artilleries, infantry, tanks. Like there's just so many little bits, anti-aircraft guns, and you're literally just fighting out World War II and trying different like strategies and whatnot and trying to just win as the Axis or the Allies, depending on which one you're trying to be. And man, it's so good. It's such a great version of this game. Like the original Axis and Allies, when people talk about that, they think about the old version, and they fixed so many rules from that older version to these newer versions. Because I remember like playing the old version, and like a guy would just get a stack of like 20 transports and then one battleship, and like I'm sending this huge like barrage of planes at them, and they're like, well, I'll just lose 5 of my transports, my battleship kills you. And it's like, well, why am I shooting his transports first? That would be. And so they fixed that. Now you have to take the hits on your ships that actually fight back, and then once they're all gone, then I can just clean up the transports without having to roll for it. But man, it's such a great rule fix.
Thematically, that also makes sense.
Yes, because it's like, oh, quick, that boat is shooting at us. Quick, hit these other people first. It doesn't make any sense. So.
Yeah, I haven't played an Axis and Allies game since I was like 12.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
And
So
the newer
6 years
versions
ago.
are the newer versions are much better, and they do have like other versions that are just like, oh, this is just the battle in Europe, or it's just the Pacific, and those are fine. But like the Spring 1942 edition, it really like it's got great balance. If you play digitally, they do offer a Larry Harris Gen Con 3.0 version, which is one they use for tournaments, which slightly tweaks the starting setup just to kind of give it a little bit more balance. But the base out of the box is set up pretty good for. Pretty well balanced. It's fantastic.
Yeah, this is a really good game. This was a game that I got in on, like played a ton of in high school. Always loved this game. It's like, oh, you like Risk, like, but you want more. Like, yes, here it is. And it really started to like show me as a gamer like what
a
games
strategy
can
board game
be,
can do.
what they can really be, and not just chucking dice, but actually like strategic movement of units and types of units and things like that. So yeah,
I love all the different unit types. That's what's super
and
cool
the
about
technology, like when you get like the tech upgrades.
That's the biggest bummer is the newer version does not have the tech upgrades. I know. It's sad.
It's sad. Moment of silence.
Moment of silence for the tech upgrades.
Okay.
But other than that, though, it's fantastic.
Right on.
I'd rather not have the tech upgrades and have the balance of the other issues.
The other things make sense. Well, you could always just, you could
Tack on a
house
tech
rule.
upgrade.
You could house rule the targeting for your old version. That's the
true,
easiest
too.
thing to do. It's like, no, ships that fight back go
Sure.
first.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever.
So I'm gonna see if Bob unfriends me. I have not played any version of Axis and Allies.
It's fine. It's not for everybody.
I want to, though.
But once you get a computer, it's on. because that way you can do it and there's no excuse.
Okay.
I
Soon,
have a computer,
so these
and
live
it's very
streams
cheap,
can
and my
happen better.
excuse is no.
But you don't like skirmish type games.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I like Risk and stuff, though. It's fun.
Then you would love Axis and Allies.
I said I used to play those a lot when I was a kid. and I
Really
didn't
like
care about the
territory
bad
control
rules.
games.
Because you didn't know any better.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know. All right, my number 4 is my all-time favorite Eric Lang game. This game was one of my favorite games of last year, and was it last year? I guess it came out last year, didn't it?
Year.
Man, this game blew me away. I love this game more. I thought I was going to like this game. I love this game. And I come away from every time I play this game with great stories. And that is Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Holy smokes, this game's amazing. I just have a fantastic time every time I play it. Again, like Mike and I have crazy stories from the last 2 times we played it, good and bad. And I don't care. And I still need to play with the Pharaoh's expansion and stuff like that, and try out some of the other scenarios in the campaign book. But this game is just so much fun. I have a great time playing it. I don't care, like people hate the merge mechanic or they love the merge mechanic.
Oh.
I'm a big fan of it just because it's so unique to this game.
Yeah, I think it's neat.
And it just changes fundamentally like how you have to play the game, the rest of the game, once you get in like halfway through. And I love just sort of that hard turn. I mean, it's coming, but you're also like, am I going to merge or is it going to be so-and-so? And I almost feel like every time I think I know who's going to merge, I'm completely wrong. You know what I mean? And
Well, yeah, I felt bad one time. I totally lied to Caleb on accident because I was like, Caleb, listen, you don't invade my territory this turn. Let me get this. We're going to merge. We're going to have a stronger start in the merge. He didn't do it. I won more than I was expecting to, and I just bumped out of that, and he merged with someone else. And, like, I felt terrible, and he was kind of crappy about it, and I understood why. I was like, if I'd done that on purpose, I think I was a crappy person too.
Yeah, but it's also, though, because the combat, you can't really anticipate every combat because of the card play mechanic for that, right? And so, whatever, and also Caleb didn't have to do that.
Right, no, he did not have to. I just felt bad because he honored the agreement, and I totally accidentally was like, crap, that gave me 2 more points than I thought I was going to. Boom, they merge, and now it felt terrible. But we had an amazing comeback victory where you and I merged.
Yes.
And that was a great time. Yeah, I really like the merge mechanic.
Yeah.
Tim and I also had an epic comeback victory as merged players, which is crazy because we taught the game to 2 other guys, and we were the ones that were in last and had to merge to win.
Yes.
So
I like, though, that, and this is the kind of divisive part online and stuff, but I like that. So we've had a comeback story. You guys have had a comeback story. But I do not feel in all of my plays that merging is, like, overpowered or
I've won without merging.
Yeah,
Like,
and I've lost merged.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like broken like some people say. Like it gives the people in last place too much of a chance. I think it's a fantastic, not only like bouncing mechanic, like catch-up mechanic kind of thing, but it just feels really good to me. I really like it.
It's
good.
just cool.
I
It's just
think
cool.
what you talked about that, Caleb kind of took offense to is one of the things that makes the merge interesting. It's not just what happens when you merge, it's that lead up to the merge.
Sure,
and
who's
you're
gonna
trying
merge?
to like, who's it going to be? It could be me. I better set myself up for that. But then it doesn't happen and 2 other people merge and you're like, well, I'm screwed now. That lead up to the merge is just as important and interesting as what happens after the merge.
And I
truly
love the way
fantastic
the
game.
action selection track works. I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
It is so much fun to see how that all pans out. I love the resolution of the different territories and the way the map can change throughout the game because you're dividing
super
territories.
cool. The camels.
And you're not only dividing the territories, but you also potentially reorganizing
What order they go in.
the order
Which
that
is
they
huge.
resolve
Yeah.
in, which flips stuff way more than
Yeah.
you would think.
Yeah.
Like once you're like, oh, no big deal, and then you get down into it and you're like, oh no, like this
Because
is
they activate in that certain order, and that can make certain things happen.
Because and then the way you're going to play your cards, and it's like, oh, I don't need this. I can't have this one go off first because I need to play the card to give me my cards back. Like so that I can win this one. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I just love it. This game does so many things right. And again, it's CMON, so the components are fantastic. I have the Kickstarter, everything edition. So I've got the upgraded monuments and everything, and it's just it's such a good game. I love Ankh, Gods of Egypt. I really do. It is my number 4, and that's the game that jumped into my top 5 that popped Rebellion out.
Got you.
But-
I like Ankh, but it's not top 5 for me.
Sure.
Me neither, evidently. I think I said it already, but mine was 12, and Mike has not mentioned it yet, if I'm correct. So anyway,
I think Mike and I are going to cross over on 2 games, and I think that's one of them.
Number 4.
Number 4.
So my number 4, everyone knows what they are. The question is, what order are they in now? And so my number 4 is my other mix of 2 games that I just count as one game.
Cheating.
Even though they feel kind of different, enough is the same, and that is Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown by Awakened Realms. I prefer Nemesis Lockdown. I think that the things that they changed are all positive changes, but that didn't make me dislike Nemesis. I don't like it any less. I'll usually choose Lockdown over it. It's a fantastic atmospheric
Lockdown
game.
does a lot of neat stuff too, though. I think they added enough to make it in.
Oh yeah, it definitely
to
feels like a
warrant
different
the
game.
expansion.
Well,
yeah.
and not just that, but the other aliens and stuff, right? Like it has the plant-based one that I haven't tried yet, but it's clearly going to feel completely different than anything we've ever done before. That's what Nemesis does so well. Is it's a really expensive game, but and they are separate expansions. If you didn't Kickstart and blah blah blah, right? So they're more expensive now, but the game is going to feel so different every time. Not only the missions that you have, the layout of the game, but then also just choosing the other alien completely changes the feeling of the game. I mean, it's completely different. And so that is huge. And then, the in Lockdown, you have the protocol. I can't think of what it's called right now. Contingency. You have the secret contingency that almost has now this deduction thing going on where you can look at each other's contingencies and try to feel out what the end game's even going to be, is a really interesting mechanic. But yeah, basically they are Alien, Sigourney Weaver, Alien, the board game. The first one especially. The second one has a bit more of a Mars, almost like Doom kind of thing going on.
And I like the turning off and on the power and the different areas
the
and
power
stuff.
mechanic's fantastic. And the fact that when you're in the dark, the aliens are stronger against you, unless you have a flashlight or something.
Really variable
just
health.
Really cool. Fantastic game. It has dropped slightly for me. I think it used to be my number 2, but again, barely. But the difference with this and another game that I will mention soon is that I have had negative experiences with Nemesis. Sometimes the game goes on too long. Sometimes you just have a really bad hand and your turn feels like you didn't do much. But man, when that game comes together, it is one of the most stories I've ever gotten out of a game. Every time I play that game, some crazy thing happens that you immediately talk about, and then the next time you see each other, you're like, "Hey man, remember when that happened?" It's just a fantastic experience all the way around. And Adam Kopinski.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's
I
your boy.
just had Lords of Hellas, 2 of his games in my top 10.
Wow.
Yeah, Nemesis, you nailed it when you said you can have really good experiences and you can have really bad experiences.
So I had both.
Yeah,
I've had both. But it is a 90 to 10 for me. I mean, the bad experiences just don't even come close.
But the good experience, the highs are high though.
Right.
I agree.
Mike.
Okay, so my number 4 is Onk, baby! Oh!
We get the same number!
Onk is incredible. I love the Eric Lang Territory Control series, and this one is my favorite. The merge mechanic's awesome. The hierarchy of actions is awesome. That card system for battle. Those cards stay out, and you must play a card to reset your hand. A mechanic borrowed from Concordia. A mechanic you'll see in Century Spice Road. I love that mechanic in any game I've played it in, and the way it is used in Ankh is amazing. I love the way that mechanic works. You know what cards your opponent has available, so you're scheming for what you know is still in their hand. You have perfect information there, and I just love the way that works. And that camel redrawing of the territories, has any game ever done that?
It's such an underrated aspect of that game.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
talks
true.
about the merge mechanic, but that redrawing the territories.
You are
It's
redrawing in an area
huge.
control game. You're redrawing the territories and then changing the order of which they
Yes.
score.
Yeah.
It is crazy what that
They
does.
that move, that action is so incredibly powerful. At least once every game, I try to make sure I can do that action at least once because it is so important to that game. I've never seen a territory control game do that, And I just feel like it's one of those things that needs to be in more territory control games. Like, wow, you can redraw them and determine the order of operations. Just, yeah, Ankh is so good.
I really liked playing because now I think we're finally done talking about Ankh. So I really like you brought up the card playing system, right? We've all brought that up. It's fantastic, the card combat. But I just want to point out, I really had a great time playing Thoth or Thoth. I don't know the Egyptian pronunciation.
Oh, the god.
But one of his powers is he guesses the card his opponent is going to play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if he's right, he gets a bunch of like currency followers, I think. Yeah.
Right.
And it was such a fun addition on top of this card combat system that I just love. Then on top of that, they might not want to play their best card, because if they play their best card against me, I'll just name their best card every time and get a bunch of followers, you know? Like, I think that's a really fascinating, fun god to play.
I think that's in the additional Kickstarter stuff I don't have. I have the Kickstarter base, so I've got the additional Guardians and the 2 extra gods, but I think those are gods.
Like Tomb of Wonders or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I have Tomb of Wonders.
Oh, then the other one.
Yeah, the extra stuff. So
it's all
either way. I need to finally start using that stuff. Like the last game we played, we finally did a non-base scenario.
Right.
We did a 3-player. Well, it was the first time I played, and we didn't have to teach somebody. So we actually did a version where every time you were gaining devotion, you were also losing devotion. And it moved back. Hey, if you're in the red here, the game ends. It moved it back a whole extra era. So it was a whole conflict. The conflict phase, it was like a whole extra one sooner, because there's like 4 of them.
Right.
And I think by the 4th one, if you're not out of the red, the game ends. It moved it back to the 3rd one.
Yeah.
So it was a very catered towards experienced players.
Keep it very tight.
Jesse was the only one that survived, and the game just ended because me and Tim were still in the red. Over.
Wow.
Very quick game. But it was probably my least favorite experience playing that game.
Same.
But it was cool to try it and see it.
But it didn't really affect me negatively as far as like my judgment of it.
Overall
It's like,
thoughts.
okay, I don't love that scenario.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my least favorite so far. There's many more to try. There's lots of content I haven't touched. Amazing game. Number
Was this
4.
not in your 50, Bob?
Nope.
That's crazy.
I've only played it the one time.
Oh, okay. That
you
makes
gotta
more
get
sense,
more
I guess.
plays.
And it was not a
almost
great experience.
all
I mean, I
three
see
of us-
the greatness of the game.
Right.
Like, I actually ended up finding a copy finally with all the stuff, and I picked it all up, so I've got it. But yeah, the one time I played it was 5 players, and like Tim was sitting next to me, and then I forgot who was next to her. But between the 2 of them, they made sure I was never able to trigger the end. And there's literally not one opportunity. Not one opportunity. Even it would have been the word. If it's like, oh, I can do it, but it's not great for me. No, I didn't have one single opportunity to trigger that.
Okay, yeah. The whole ending the action thing. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense, because all 3 of us basically had it in our top 10. It was 12 for me, and then you guys just had it. So I just thought that was crazy, but that makes more sense.
Yep. So I'm sure I'll take it if I actually play it more and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'll like it more.
Just you need only ask.
Yeah. And I like to get mine played so I can get it out of shrink and organized.
For sure. Well, get it out of shrink and organized. I won't play yours, Pete.
Yeah, then sell me the Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So man, top 3.
Wow.
So man, this is kind of funny.
Getting serious.
It's getting real serious. So my number 3, I don't think it's been mentioned at all.
Because it's crap.
Wonderland's War.
Yes.
Number 3.
I know, and I was saying it as we were playing it.
I'm gonna hate this game.
We were playing it quite a bit, like over and over and over again, and I kept saying, like, man, this is rapidly becoming top 5 game, and like I started doing and I don't try to game which one. It's like I literally, I look at them, I want to play this one. Oh, I want to play this one. Number 3. I jumble any numbers around. That's just where it ended up. Man, this game is fantastic. There's so many things that I enjoy. I love the color palette on it. I love the little minis. I love the bag building with it's fantastic.
I taught Bob this game.
Yeah, that's the problem about Mike. He introduced me to these games, and I was like, well, now I gotta go freaking buy it. You know? So,
Pat and Julia got their money,
Yeah. Well, between the two of them, I'm not gonna have any money left.
That is true. Yeah, honestly, like my top 4, the multiple times that I ran Pub Meeple, doing it, all of these games showed up as my number 1, like through a different variation. Even Ankh. because I just love Ankh so much. Because when you're looking and you're like, yes, I want to play that. Yes, I want to play that. Right. So my number 3 has already been mentioned. It is Empire's Age of Discovery. Wow. This is like one of my all-time favorite worker placement games. You know, I know it's a little older, and there's other games that are similar, but this game just nails it for me. Just between the way that you build up your pool of workers, you know, also though, right? Because you start off with like the generic ones, and it's like now you're going to start specializing, and then you're using your guys in that spot, you know. And depending on the player count, those spots can fill up
real fast. Like, oh, that boat's getting full. I better get somebody on it.
Yeah, you know, or you need some of those buildings, right? You know, to give you like different either abilities or ways to score points later on. And then there's getting overseas, and then getting the tiles, right?
Different,
to do the
set
things
collecting
for the set collection and stuff. And there's just so many things this game does right. I have a great, every time I play this game, I'm like, I friggin' love this game so much. And yeah, I've never had a bad experience playing it.
Yeah, I haven't never had a bad experience with this game.
We've played it at 2 players. I have a great time with it. I played it with like 4, 5 or 6, you know, and still had a good time, and don't feel like it takes too long or overstays its welcome. This game is just very smooth, and it plays really well. I love Empire's Age of Discovery.
Fantastic.
My number 3 is the big boy. I used to call this game Risk on steroids.
Axis and Allies.
I know, right? Dan, really?
No.
Small World?
Twilight Imperium 4th edition is just a mind-blowing experience.
This is Risk on HGH. Like, this is like gamma rays. This is like more...
Yeah, it's more than crack can do for you.
Well, I used to say Risk on acid, actually. I think is what I used to say.
Okay, then, Wonderland's War is more on acid.
I edited it. I edited it to steroids.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a space-themed political Risk. You will always have a story when you walk away from this game about something crazy that happened. Last time we played, Jesse and I, it came down to a tiebreaker because in the last round of the game, Jesse and I had our secret objectives thingies, and we weren't, like, we both felt confident that we might beat the other person. Like, we were like, I don't know, and we were going to fight. And it was like, if I lose that fight, I definitely won't beat you. And he like said the same thing. And it was like, but I think I might beat you if we don't fight. And he said the same thing. And it was like, let's not fight and let's purposely go to tiebreaker and see what happens. And he beat me by like 1 point. It was so close. But just a fantastic ending to that game. Again, one of my favorite things about Twilight Imperium is that, unlike Risk, there's a lot of times where fighting is a terrible idea. And you look and you're just like I was just kind of talking about. You look and you're like, man, like I really need that territory, and I guess I could go in there and just hope I beat you, but like, do you want to like come to some kind of arrangement? Like you just leave. You let me get in there. I just need that resource or something, right? And then I'll back out and you can have that system back. Or like, okay, if you don't get out of my way, I'm going to have to go around, which cuts you off from the rest of your army. Like, is that really what you want me to do? Like, there's so many talks. The first time I played this game, halfway through the game, people wanted like a break. And I was standing on the porch with a friend of mine, and we just started talking made up politics more than I talk about real life politics. We were just sitting there, and he was just we were talking about the planet. Then I was like, you know, we can't let Levi capture that planet because he's going to have too many votes in the upcoming election, and we can't let the thing that he wants pass. You know, it's going to give him way too much power. And we were like standing there, and I was just like, are we really talking about this? Like the amount of votes someone's going to have in an election to push through a policy? Amazing! Like that game does so many amazing things. And on top of that, it's gorgeous. I really like the look of this game. Anyway, Twilight Imperium 4, amazing, gigantic area control space political epic.
Does a lot of things right, and is famously long, but under perfect circumstances.
It has never felt it for me.
Yeah.
I'll play this. Last time we played it, it was almost exactly 7 hours. Didn't feel even close.
Yeah.
I love the initiative selection, how you choose different things.
Well, it has the it's kind of like a Puerto Rico kind of thing, right? It has that whole pick the number and you get a certain thing, but
action
then also
goes with
those
it.
numbers, like the action goes with the numbers. Yeah.
That and the tech upgrades.
Yep.
Yeah, tech trees.
Which were massively streamlined in TI4. Honestly, I hear TI3 get a lot of hate now for its tech. I perfectly liked it. It was
fine.
It was convoluted a bit, but it was realistically
Fine.
convoluted. You had to
Fine.
literally branch out.
Yeah.
And then now in this one, it's they're just like, very basic straight line text. They're
Right.
fine. I can
Right.
see why they streamlined it.
I've got TI3. I will never get rid of it. I've got the old coffin box. I think it's great.
Same.
So yeah.
Yep. Oh, by the way, this was 1 last time.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's replaced it.
Wow. Number 3. So this is where I said I have like this 3-way tie.
Right.
And I could just roll a D3. This has been my number 1 for many years, and it fell to 3. And the reason, because when we started this list very early, I remember talking to Bob about like how I was ranking games and like how close it was between like my 4 through 6 and my 1 through 3. And then Bob's like, well, just ask yourself, which game would you rather play right now? And that kind of put things in perspective, because I don't really bring this game and try to play it. I'm not trying to get this game played, but I've played it so much and I've had so many great experiences playing Scythe, and it's still one of my favorite all-time games, obviously. I've played all the way through the Rise of Fenris campaign, and I think it's fantastic. And also, again, I will say this again, if you're playing that campaign and you are losing by a lot, and you think, why would I continue when I'm just going to lose? Whoever scores the most in the last episode of the campaign wins the entire campaign.
Right.
So if you are losing, that means you may have some extra stuff saved up. Save that stuff, blow it all on an epic last episode. And by doing that, you can win the game. So some people might be using their stuff earlier. Save that stuff up, blow it on that last episode, and you'll give yourself a chance of winning. So it doesn't matter how many episodes you've lost. If you have a shot in the last one, you are still alive. And I think Bob's told me he has lost some people on his Scythe campaign because of this. So I keep saying that because there might be other people who've given up on their Scythe campaign because they're losing by a lot.
I think it was literally like I've won 5 and they've each won 2. So I think it's like what, 10 or 12 missions.
12.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and
so
you're
we're
before the last one, you're saying?
Yeah. And they're like, well, we don't want to play anymore because I was been whooping on them.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Well, that's what I try to tell them, but
Yeah. I played 4-player campaign. I think I had won one of the episodes, and then I creamed everybody on the last one.
Well, what's funny is I think it's like the first or second mission, so this isn't too much spoiler, but you vote for war or for peace. And like I voted peace and they both voted war. So the next I'm like, you want
you
war?
destroyed
It's
them.
war you shall have. And I just annihilated them. It was great.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, but I still just love this game. It has my favorite coins in any game.
Best coins.
I
Yes,
like the
fantastic.
art and the art style.
Dual layer
I like
player
the
boards.
Easter eggs on the board, those dual layer player boards. I think it was the first game I ever knew of that had dual layer player boards. I like how the combat gives you some information, but also secret information.
Yep.
I like how power is also, it can give you stars. So you don't want to blow your power. You kind of want to save it up if you're going to max out your power track.
One of those games where you can trigger endgame and not win.
Yeah, which I think is a great mechanic.
This is the one that started the conversation.
I also like how there's a faction where you can get multiple stars from battle, but every other faction can only get 2 stars from battle.
Right.
And I know some people, this is another issue. Oh, the tech trees aren't that advanced. They're very simple tech trees, but they're useful, and you can get some really effective engine building going where you're literally just you're giving up 1 resource to get 3 coins every round. Like if you can get that engine going, you can have a pile of money going into in-game scoring, and it's a very legitimate way to win the game. And that's, again, adds to the replayability of this game.
What tech tree?
Not tech tree.
The mechs. You unlock the mechs at different orders.
I'm talking about the upgrade system,
Okay.
where I can move a cube from the top row down to the bottom row. That's
to upgrade the one
tech
and,
upgrades.
I see.
Tree is not the
No,
the
that's
right
fine.
name.
I was
Yeah,
just
tree was the
wondering
wrong
if I
word.
missed an expansion.
But some
or
people
something.
say that's too simplified, and that's
Oh,
fine.
it's
I
so
think it
good.
works effectively. You're making your top row action less expensive or more useful, while also making your bottom row cheaper to perform.
It's fantastic.
Like that's a great tech tree. It doesn't have to be complicated to be good.
It also has a cool neighbor mechanic in it, where when your neighbors take certain actions, you get stuff. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Enlist, yeah.
I have played this game like 25 times because I've played the whole campaign, and another dozen times without it. I love this game. I just don't play it as much anymore. But man, anytime, any place, I will play some Scythe.
And
I
the
still
digital
love this
version's
game.
pretty darn good on that too.
It's good. This was 37
Nice.
for me.
Cool beans.
Number
All right.
2, Bobby.
Number 2. Nobody at this table has played my number 2.
Gotcha. Won't look it up then.
I know what it is.
But it's along the same lines.
Can we play it here?
I mean, you could.
Okay.
It won't fit on the table.
Not this table. But War Room.
I was trying to go for a "you can't fight in here" joke.
Yeah. There's no fighting in the war room.
You can't fight in here. It's the war room. I was going for that, but I was like, can we play it in here? I wasn't trying to word it.
It's the playroom. That's the family version with the goofy dragon on the
War Room is a fantastic World War II game. You're playing on a big round map that looks like you're actually in. Yes,
Yeah.
You're actually in like a war room. Like they would see, like, oh, they have the little push sticks because your armies are stacked up, and then they all have a little call sign on top. And as you're planning your moves, you got to draw your race board, and you know, depending on how many people you're playing, you only get so many orders that you can give. And all the territories have coordinates on them. And so you'll write down the stack that you want to move, the coordinate you want to move it to, and you'll put your orders out there. And then when everybody's written it down, you bid a secret amount of oil. Then whoever bids the most oil gets to go first. You get to move your stacks however you want to move them. You can, if you think that somebody's going to try to move their guys in and take away your territories, you can try to move in quickly and pin them down, because once you move people in, then people cannot move out of there. If they're pinned down, you have to leave guys behind. And then you've got like planes and bombers and all types of like ships again with this one. Larry Davis has created a lot of these World War II types of games, and he always puts out a like a battle strip or a battle map. Never had to use any of them. This game, complicated enough. You finally got me to use your stinking battle map, because what's awesome about it is you have offensive and defensive positioning. So depending on the types of units you move over to the battle map, you can choose to put them on offense so they have a higher combat value, or you put them on defense to give them more hit points. And you're just trying to fight through. And then like another cool thing that Mike was talking about before is if say somebody's got a territory and they're trying to build some new units, those units go upside down kind of underneath the industrial complex. But then if before the end of your next turn, somebody comes in, takes that territory over, when those units get built, they get to slap their sticker on them. They become part of their army. And so you lose the resources for that territory, which is super cool. And they also have different like, you can play just the all in the same box, whereas the Axis and Allies in different boxes, you can do, I'm just going to do the Germany and Russia, and it's got a balancing mechanic for that. And then you've got one where you can do just the Pacific and do, a half of America and half of Britain and fight against Japan in the Pacific. Or you can do like the whole global thing. And then there's morale that you have to worry about. So if you lose too many units, your morale starts to go down. And then if there's too much infrastructure damage, you can't use the trains that are there. And it's like Axis and Allies on crack, and that's like Risk on crack. So this is like crack of Risk. It's
like crack on crack.
It's crack on crack crime.
It's refined crack.
It's so good though, man. It's so complicated. And like the back, you have a board that has like the whole map, so you can go and plan with your people and what you want to do. Okay, we're going over here. Yeah, okay, and then you go over, you write your orders down real quick, and it's just so cool and how you do it. And then it's not just generic money where you're buying goods. Like different types of terrains will produce oil, some produce steel, some produce, they call them the universal, but it's kind of like the money, but you can spend them to buy more stuff. And there's just so much to this game. It's fantastic. I just wish I had more time to be able to get it to the table.
Man, I wish you told us about this game.
I know, right? I am dying to play this game.
I would love to play
with
this
anyone but
game.
Bob.
Yeah.
I don't want to get absolutely
be on my team.
destroyed.
Okay.
Hey!
How about this? I'll trade you his War Room
Thanks.
for your copy of Sonar.
Oh, this is
Not the
fair.
8-player,
Yeah,
just
captain.
the,
Yeah.
No. I'm not gonna ask
Yeah.
for that.
I mean,
that's way
that's
too
a
much.
war game for a war game.
Yeah.
I think that seems perfect.
And then we'll play it. And maybe we'll invite Mike, but we won't let Bob. But hey, Bob, we'll come over and play Sonar with you.
Cool, thanks.
You mentioned it, and I didn't mention it in this particular video, but yeah, that mechanic of you've gained resources and they stay on the board in the place you gained the resources from, and if somebody beats you in battle there, they are their resources now.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned that's in War Room, and I didn't mention it today.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised more games don't do this.
Yeah, and now it's not the specific like oil and metals that you build, but it's like what you make from those, right? So it's like, oh, there's this factory, and we've been building this tank, and here it comes down the assembly line, and oh my gosh, we're all dead. Oh, the Germans are here. We put our logo on this. So yeah.
Oh boy.
Watch out with the accents. I don't even know. Thankfully, accent was so
bad.
It was like an alien, I think.
Anyways, I've been watching too many World War II movies lately.
Yeah.
You watched, was it All Quiet on the Western Front? That's really good.
Oh my
too.
god,
I know
it's so good.
I know.
I haven't seen it yet.
This is what happens.
when you get old.
Yeah. It's
So-
like I like movies and football.
Before
and books
Tim
about
goes,
war.
Yeah.
I just want to say there is a very good chance I may have a crossover with Tim's 2 and Dan's 1. And that possibility has me sweating.
Because that means I'm going to have to play
Tim
this stinking
already
game.
mentioned it.
Listen, my number 2 is not going to be on anybody's list, and I'm offended.
Well, I'm only
well,
going to cross over with Dan's 1 then. I guess
I
was wrong.
am absolutely offended. Anybody that knows me or has watched this show knows what one of my all-time favorite games is.
Happy Salmon.
It is Happy Salmon is my number 2. No, my number 2 is Cthulhu Wars. I friggin' love this game. This is my favorite territory control game with asymmetrical player powers. It just is. It's one of the first ones I played on this level, right? With the components are incredible. You know, Peterson Games is up and down with their checkered past, whatever, right? So opinions of them aside, this game just nailed it for me. I love the theme. I am a big horror theme person anyways. I've read, tons of books, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but this theme nails it for me because it is basically the end of the world. The cultists that were trying to summon all the great old ones that you read about and all the stories, they succeeded. But the problem is they didn't just raise up Cthulhu from the depths of the ocean, but they also may have called a Nyarlathotep, from wherever, and Shub,
Yeah,
she
that guy,
came
that
out,
guy,
the
yeah,
mother,
yeah.
And Chubby Boy.
the goat of the
Shub-a-ding-dong.
woods, she pops up, and there's the king in yellow, and all of the great old ones are now descending upon the earth, and they're gonna fight it out for who actually gets to run the thing. And the components are off the charts. My buddy Pete painted up all the gates for me. We put a wash on all the minis. That's the first game I've ever done that for, and it just makes them all look way better. There are beautiful painted versions of this on the internet. I will never do that, but not be just because lack of talent.
Sure.
Not do I would never do that. It's like,
Total
no,
lack of talent.
yeah. But no, this game's got so much stuff. I haven't even played everything for this game. I'm still getting more stuff for this game that I'm waiting for the
Cthulhu's already green anyway.
Kickstarter show, like other Kickstarters to show up. But this is a game
Greenwash.
that I think I've gotten to the point now where when I play this game, I only want to play it like 4, maybe 5 players tops.
Yeah.
I have taught this game a million times, literally because I taught it at a couple of Gen Cons for them, like all day, multiple days, just teaching Cthulhu Wars. And I still love this game. Like, I still want to play it. So if somebody's like, hey, I was kind of curious about Cthulhu Wars, I'm like, I'll teach you. I love to play it. And I will play as a faction that I don't do well with or don't like because I want other people to have a good experience.
Like
but
Chocho?
Oh God.
Sorry.
But I want people, this is a game I genuinely love and I want people to have a good experience to play. And I'm also fine just teaching it because I don't want to steamroll new players because I don't want to color their experience. I want them to experience the game and then they like it for what it is, what the game is.
I think I have to say this year was the first year in 6 years that I have not played that game.
I know.
Because you didn't go to Julia Con.
Well,
and we usually play it there at least.
And we didn't play it. Did we go in March this year? And I don't think we played it
there.
We played Ankh instead, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Good move.
Just saying. Hey,
But-
6 years in a row I've been playing this game with Tim. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's a really good game. Again, it's not for everybody, right? There's ups and downs and everything with it. And there's too much stuff for it. And I still have everything and I'm getting everything for it. But I love this game. But yeah, it's just one of my all-time favorite games. The asymmetry makes things really interesting. I've seen all the different factions win, some more than others. I just have a great time. And the theme makes sense, right? The factions all do the things that they should do. And have all these, and you can't play Cthulhu the same way you play King in Yellow.
Yeah,
you will not win.
Exactly. They all play very differently.
You have to play to your faction's strengths.
Yep.
And so when teaching, you just try to explain, like, hey, lean into this. You have this
Yeah.
ability. Lean on that.
Yeah.
And it's just
Cthulhu's a beat stick. Beat with him.
yeah, no doubt. It's fine if he dies.
Yeah, it's
'cause
okay.
He gets better. But yeah, Cthulhu Wars is my number 2.
Nice.
Do the lip thing again.
Yeah, whatever. You played it once.
I played it at least twice. I think I played it 3 times.
Okay.
All I'll say is I ranked 179 games, and this was 158.
Hey, it still made it.
Hey there, the 100 after 100.
My number 2, here it is, guys. Dune Imperium. It's a near perfect game. I'm blown away by how well made and well balanced this game is.
Seems a little dry.
Everything feels, it's on a desert. Everything is so obviously so well thought out to the point that, like, you could write a paper on the expansion to this game, like why they chose what they did. Like, okay, well, they needed to add this mechanic to it, but that might unbalance this. So let's cover this worker placement spot, which gave you this. But now it gives you this, and that helps with the balance here. And we added this tech thing here, and they do this. But that changes how this system works now. Like, you could literally write a paper on how well thought out
You've turned
this
into
game
the
is.
Charlie Day red yarn on a wall.
You know what?
meme.
And I think that's impressive because there's a lot of games out there that I say, what were they thinking?
Sure. No.
And,
This
you know,
game is
this
very,
one is like,
very well
I know what
designed.
they were thinking.
I played it
It's
once.
amazing.
But everything made sense, right? Everything had a
Right.
purpose.
A fantastic dual card system where you are, well, first of all, you're playing the card and the cards in your hand, so deck builder, you're building your deck, and then the cards that you have in your hand determine where you can send your workers. So, like, that is difficult. You know, like, there are times where you can't go where you need to go because you don't have a yellow triangle card in your hand, and you say, okay, well, what can I do this turn that is going to push me towards the goal I'm initially working towards, or end game working towards? It is true that one of the biggest complaints for this game is that the combat is too important. I disagree. I've seen it won multiple times without combat. I will say, though, that combat is the easiest way to win.
I thought the biggest complaint about this is that it wasn't Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Right. Well, that's
we're up there.
you know, there's dumb people everywhere. I
have Arnak ranked 1 spot above
You
Dune Imperium.
fool!
What a huge difference.
I know.
And he rolled a die to determine that spot
Yeah.
just to make your head explode.
Correct.
But the asymmetric character abilities are interesting, if a little simple sometimes. I mean, Paul's ability is just you can always know what the top card of your deck is. That's not very interesting. In a deck builder, it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Especially because there's multiple spots that let you draw a card. So being like, oh, I could just go there and drastically change what I'm about to do.
Yeah, or you
can
know
be
it's not
huge.
worth going to that spot.
Yeah, or
like
you
I
know
don't
it's
need to
not
push.
worth it. Yeah,
going to
because
that
you
spot.
literally, it's not like you have to take an action to do it. You just can always look. If you ever draw cards during your turn, you can always look at what the next one is. You always get to know what the next one is. It just sounds boring when you explain it, but it can win you a game, you know?
Again, lean into your
it's huge.
asymmetric power.
It's huge.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about, I mean, not to go into Magic, but there's a couple of Magic cards that let you do that. Like, look at the top card
Right.
all the time, and that's big.
Like a
It's huge.
scrying kind of thing. My only complaint for the game, and it's such a minor complaint really, is that I feel like the intrigue cards can be too make or break. There are very few endgame victory point intrigue cards in the game when you compare it to the other two types, the endgame cards and the plot cards. There are very few endgame cards. And if Bob just pulls all of those, there's nothing we can do. He might win just from that because every point in this game is so important with a max of 10 that if you get 2 or 3 entry cards that each give you a 3-point swing at the end of the game is insane.
Huge.
And I feel like the end game cards are either too rare or too powerful, and I'm not sure which one. The expansions do add some endgame ones in, and then the new expansion coming out, I've seen add some more endgame intrigue ones in, the Immortality. And Immortality I'm super excited to play too because it gives you a skill tree now, or a tech tree, to work towards, that now you can put your cubes there instead of in combat, and you can work towards victory points on that. So adding a tech tree I think was a genius move. So basically the first expansion made combat easier, and now the second expansion makes it less important. And I think that those were 2 good changes for people who find it too important. And I can totally
And like
totally
any
see that.
expansion, you can leave it out or use it as your to cater to tastes. What's the average scores at the end of this game?
Oh, I mean,
normally?
super close.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah, exactly. Or,
So your
12,
love-
10, 9,
your-
like if someone gets really lucky.
Your love of this game surpasses your love of.
Low scoring games.
Oh, I know.
You
In all fairness, during the conversation, I talked about not liking low-scoring games, but I said Dune Imperium is an exception because every point feels like a gigantic decision to work towards.
Yeah.
It's not at the end of the game, let's just see what I got. 5? Oh, cool. It is how the heck do I get this next point?
Right.
Oh my God, I did it. Holy crap, Bob just got a point. We're tied again. I have to win this next combat or else I don't have enough endgame points to do this. Like, every decision is so big.
what I appreciated about it in my one play is that I also felt like this really, really, short of the Dune game proper, encapsulated the theme. You know what I mean? And really feels on theme. I don't feel like you could just slap any skin on this game and have it make sense the way it does. And now Dan and I, when we first became friends, we had talked about there being not many Dune games, and it's such a great IP. I wish they would make games. And now the IP has been released.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to get some really good games out.
No, yeah, that's a really cool thing. I just saw Video Game Talk here just for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Game Awards for the other day, and they announced a Dune MMO coming. Boom. Blew my mind. I'm so excited. I'm really glad to see Dune being more.
I checked out
stuff.
the Dune Spice Wars on PC.
Yep, I want to pick it up.
Yeah,
It looks
Justin's been
really
playing that.
good.
Yeah.
He takes his turn back, but then you can go and try going.
Do you guys hear about the Dune themed pandemic?
What's the joke coming?
Dry throat.
There isn't one. I just figured they should.
Oh.
No. It's every theme is becoming a pandemic.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
true.
threw it out there.
It'll probably be.
I mean, they got to find a way to keep.
And there's 15 Dune games that have all
Bleeding
come
money-
out in the last 2
bleeding-
years now.
Yeah, 2 years, literally. It's been insane.
Yeah.
But anyway, I could talk about this game for a long time, genuinely, because while I enjoy that game that much, I also just think there's that much intelligent design in the game just to talk about how things are balanced. Why are there this many cards in here, and how many triangles versus circles are there in this game?
Oh,
And
sure.
there are so many intelligent design decisions.
Is this the
here.
game that the upgrade pack really isn't that good?
Yeah, Bob
Yeah.
says it makes
Okay.
it worse. I wouldn't say that, but it is. It's just not worth it.
I don't
It's
own it.
right.
But all the spaces are squares. They're meant for your little
Right.
cubes. And now you've got this round base dude that's bigger
Yeah,
than
they
you.
didn't even give the guy square bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a weird
just-
decision.
I wasn't trying to dig on it.
And
I
as
just
somebody-
couldn't remember if that was
right,
this
but
game.
as somebody
or
who
not.
gets the deluxe
Yeah.
versions of stuff, I'm not even.
Yeah, it just
interested in
replaces
Not
the main
worth
thing
it.
it does is replaces all the cubes and your Senate seat, your whatever things over there. It replaces all those with miniatures, and the Senate ones look really, really nice. The other ones are just whatever, just generic soldiers, and it looks like it would make the game too messy having
And
all
I've
those
already-
soldiers.
I've already upgraded my first player marker with that.
yeah, the D
Cthulhu Wars, the Dole. Yeah.
D hole.
The D hole. Yeah, it looks like a giant sandworm. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my marker.
Yeah,
Right on, man. Good pick.
Direwolf.
So, my number 2, my goodness. So what this means is that I will not have a crossover with Tim. I know
There's
what
a game you haven't mentioned that I will be talking about.
I am
I know you
mentioning
guys
it.
have the same number one game. You guys have talked
Yeah,
about
they
it a
have the same
million
number one
freaking
game,
times.
No,
and he's about to cross over with.
No,
Don't. No.
I think his number 2 is going to be my number 1.
Oh, gotcha.
It is, and therefore I'll probably cross over with Dan.
You will 100% cross over with Dan.
And it's almost sad to me that this game is number 2. It's kind of sad.
It's
but
a shame.
but it's good.
Haven't played it. Haven't played either one.
I know.
These guys are about to talk about 2 games, 3 people, 2 games, top 2 games. I haven't played either one of them.
We've
Listen,
invited
one
you
of them-
so many times.
One of them you actively are trying to not play. So don't give us that.
I'm not mad about it. I'm saying.
I've said on multiple videos how I consider this the perfect game.
Second perfect.
And that's the perfect game that's not a social deduction game, and that is Concordia. Concordia is just that good of a game, and in fact, there's 2 expansions for this game.
I haven't played them.
Technically, it's salsa, but salsa gives you salsa, which is a wild
Spicy?
resource.
Oh.
And it also gives you, it also comes with tortilla chips, which is nice.
That's good.
You got to be able to scoop up that salsa somehow.
Yes.
But it also comes with forum tiles. I would rather play the game without them. I would
both
much
expansions,
rather play with base game because I think base game Concordia is a perfect game. I just love what this game does. It gives you the element the importance of timing in this game is so interesting in how it works, because this is where that system came that we were talking about with Ankh, where you're going to play a card, you're going to do what it says, that card stays on the table, and you can't use it until you play your card reset. Your reset card. So you know what cards people have played. But you also have a card that allows you to copy the last card other people have played. And every action card only has one card. So like, hey, maybe I really want to build this round, but maybe I want to try to build twice. Well, the only way to do that is to use my architect card to build, get some more resources, wait for someone else to play their architect card, and then copy it. So you've got this copy mechanic, you've got a card reset mechanic, and getting your cities out on the board is one of the most important things out there. But yet at the same time, you want to be able to try to build 2 cities if you can. So you're trying to build up these resources and maximize every turn. And I know we're going to talk about it more, so I won't go any farther. But Concordia is a perfect game. You do not need expansions unless you want the additional maps for your player account. Those are all awesome. I also have not played Venus. I bought it at Gen Con. It gives you a 2v2 mode, which looks really cool. I really want to try that, but mine is still in shrink and I need to try it. So Concordia, incredible game.
All right.
It is. It is an incredible game.
Yeah, I haven't played it. Number 1. I mean, how cool would a game with time travel be?
Well, we've already talked about one, though. Anachrony
That
does
sounds pretty neat.
We nailed it already.
Oh.
We've said everything we could about this game, boss.
Anachrony!
Shocker.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
It was a shocker.
It was a shocker. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great. Mind Clash games. It's got great, iconography, busy looking board, but once you figure everything out, it's fantastic. I'm not going to go into a little bit more. We talked about it, at length when Mike mentioned it, but it's fantastic.
So we said Bob's number 1 game began with an A. My number 1 game begins with a C, and that is Champions of Midgard. Just kidding. I hate that game so much. I just wanted to get everybody's hopes up. No, it's Concordia. I
haven't played it.
Yeah.
You be there.
It's terrible.
No, it's one of my all-time favorite games. I played it for the very first time at a Geekway. Julia taught it to us. I think it was our first Geekway we went to. So what, 2014, whatever year that was?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 20 years ago.
But this
day we played games. Oh, sorry.
this game I just always love. Will always love. It's fantastic. It is, and I mean, I know you didn't go all into all of the things you could have said, but one of the things I love about this game is, yes, we all basically start with the same hand of cards, right, with those actions. But there's also this this tableau where you can buy more cards, which will give you repeat versions of those actions or different things or different ways to score points, because that's some of your set collection.
So there are some repeats and some one-offs?
Yeah, am I remembering that right, Mike? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you're buying the
number 1 game, I hope you remember it right.
The other thing I love is that there's this market up here with the goods, and you can flip the tiles so you can sell goods, and then you can take the money, and then that refreshes everything so that somebody else. So there's just this really nice balance with the timing, and then where you are building your roads and your cities on the board. There's just lots of really neat things that this game does. On your little player board, you can only hold so much of certain types of resources, depending on the stuff you're getting. Certain resources might be worth more to you than other players. There is a hierarchy, though, right? Silk is always the highest, and brick or something is one of the lower ones. Just how common of a resource it is. But yeah, this game's just fantastic. I absolutely love this game. And again, the way that you can play your cards, and yes, you can copy somebody's action, but and there's that timing of when do you need to pick up? But if you buy other cards, right, now you've got more options, and people may not remember everything that you have that you can do. And it's just such a really neat game. It just, the box cover is the worst box cover I've ever seen in my life, next to Spirit Island 2, whatever that one's called. Not Spirit Island.
Electric Boogaloo. I was thinking the same thing.
I don't know. The Cubitos box really bothers me because it's I think it's SpongeBob, but it's not. It's
In the
Cheese
game,
man.
in the game, he's called Leader Cheesin.
Leader cheesing.
Yeah, that makes
checks
sense.
out. Yeah.
See,
Yeah, like-
That is
the
terrible.
more
It
you
is-
know.
You know, Concordia. Oh, actually, I looked here and like Istanbul is a pretty terrible box as well.
Yeah.
But no, this is a great game, and I absolutely love it. It will probably always be a top 5. We're getting now at like where there are some games where it's like, oh, like my, things are like moving around a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, this game is just an evergreen. I love it. It's really good. You guys
You guys
just want to go at the
wanna
same
talk
time?
together?
Well, so here's the thing.
It begins with a B.
Anachrony is ABC.
Yeah.
A
CB.
CB.
Well, Anachrony, a great game. It was in
Yeah.
my 40s. Concordia, obviously not good enough to force us to play because we haven't played it yet, but it's probably a good game. But they're both wrong. It is empirically correct. That there is only one best game that has ever been made. Mike, do you want a 1-for-1?
Oh, yes.
Oh yes. Blood
On
the
Clocktower.
That is the correct answer. It's the best game ever made. I want to thank my attorney.
apologize to
This
everybody
game's
for
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah.
I enjoy this game quite a bit.
Yeah, that's it. Bye. I can't remember. He had it earlier. He mentioned it like way back.
40s.
Yeah, 40s. Good call out. Bye, Bob. Anytime now. It's getting kind of cramped in here.
Well, I mean, the review for this game, which I didn't get to be on, I have it as my #1 favorite game, and I did not get to be on the Blood on the Clocktower review.
Well, maybe
On purpose.
I'm
available.
not salty whatsoever.
We film on Sundays.
Also, that review was over an hour long.
This was my 39.
You would have been longer.
This is going to be our first 3-hour top 10 is what we're about to tell you.
yeah.
That's not true.
Thank God.
So
No, it's not true because we just did a 3-hour top 10 the other day.
I gave this. I'll keep it fairly short because we do talk about this game a lot.
A lot.
We reviewed. I made a print and play. I watched No Rolls Barred videos. Yep. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most intricate social deduction game I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, you can play this in Discord. Oh my gosh, watching people play this on YouTube is incredibly entertaining. I have to play this game. Oh, it's not available. Okay. I'll make a print and play because it isn't available. And then I'll research how to make 5-player scripts. Oh my gosh, they have a whole website and wiki just for this. Oh man, I went down the rabbit hole and I'm like
And you saw me at the
messaging
bottom.
Dan a whole bunch. And I'm
my
like,
world.
ooh, what about
We're all a little
what
mad
about
down
this
here.
roll with this roll? And what about sneaking this roll in here? And here I am making my own rolls. And then I was the storyteller for some Teensyville games that happened here during a Meeple Day. And that was the only playing I had ever did. And then we reviewed it. And I gave it a 9.5 based off of storytelling Teensyville games.
Right.
I hadn't even played it yet. I gave it a 9.5 off of storytelling Teensyville games. I've now played this game 10 times now. Jesse's story told all of them, and this is a 10. This is the best social deduction game I have ever played. It is my favorite experience in gaming.
I agree with everything he just said. They were factual events that happened. Yeah, I also talk about this game all the time. For me, it started with just randomly watch. I mean, we talked about it when it was on Kickstarter. And then I just started watching Pandemonium Institute stream it on Twitch, and they were up. I probably saw it on their YouTube channel first, but then I was watching all of their streams, where the company that makes the game streams it. And then I said, screw it, I'm looking up how to make a Discord about this, and I made a Discord, and I put all the time into programming bots and all this stuff, and I used to run it on Discord.
It was
for our
fun.
game group. I had a great time. I was able to play a couple because luckily a couple players that came in found it so interesting that they actually researched how to be storyteller and they wanted to try it. So I was able to play a bit. There's videos on our YouTube channel of me storytelling and playing. You get both sides of that. And then Mike found out about the game. And luckily, he made my life so much easier because he wanted to do a print and play. And I was like, yeah, you do that. And he did it, and we played it in person, and it was one of the best experiences in gaming I've ever had. And then Jesse actually picked up the actual version, which I'm super jealous of because I really want to have it. And it is a 10 out of 10, near perfect in every way game. It is the best social deduction game ever made, and the experiences I get from this game are so fun. It's funny too because this is a longer game, like 45 hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on player count and stuff, right? And yet, almost every time I've played it, we finished, and people immediately wanted to play again because they were like, "That was so interesting! Oh my god, the way that roll did that!" Or like, "Oh, I want to try out a different roll. Can we re-rack?" You get a re-rack after a 2-hour social deduction game, like the people wanting it. Amazing. I just want to give a huge shout out to Pandemonium Institute for designing such a genius social deduction game in a flooded market.
They also were so open with not only their IP but the ideas and the suggestions. I mean, they've made a game that normally would be very inaccessible, very accessible.
Right.
You know, and I just love all of the outreach, you know what I mean, and stuff that they have done because it's like they've encouraged people to do print and plays. They encourage, you know, they give people all these options and scenarios.
They have official script builders, you know, that you can just build your own scripts.
I love the support for this that they have done. I just think that's fantastic for a company like that because they don't have to do that.
Yep.
And
yeah, the script building is so easy to use.
It's amazing.
You just go in and it'll give you the descriptions of the roll. You just add them. Once you have the minimum number of rolls, you can export it and just print them all out. And bam, you've got your character sheet you can give to all the players.
Well, and from the script builder, you can turn it into an XML file, whatever, that you can then upload in the GitHub website, which is how you play on Discord, is a website that people go to. And you can upload into that, and it will load your custom script to be able to play with, to the point that if you know how to write the script, Levi and I actually made custom roles and put it in an XML file or whatever type of file it is, and we were actually able to have a kind of like makeshift game with our own roles and pictures that we made in the website. That website was also not designed by them. It was designed by some guy who wanted to be able to play it before the game was out. And it was so good that they actually started paying him and I think hired him to continue supporting that website and everything.
Even
like
better.
That.
Even better.
Just fantastic stuff going on here, guys. So, yeah, best game of all time. Good job, Mike. You're an intelligent guy.
Oh, boy.
I better write that down because I'll never hear it again.
In all fairness, I mean, he had my Anachrony and Wonderland's War in his list today as well.
Nobody's perfect.
Listen, Mike and I hit on Ankh at the exact same time.
And he had Concordia.
Concordia was one off. Like I said, I was either going to cross over game and number with Dan or Tim. I knew it would become very close there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's run through our top 10s.
10 through 1.
One last time.
One last time. Right there.
And never get to play these games again.
Yep. These games are officially retired. So number 10. Downfall of Pompeii.
Yeah.
You haven't played it yet.
I've played it multiple times. You say that every time, Bob.
I'm going to keep saying that until you like it.
Yeah. You haven't played it unless you had fun.
The flogging shall continue until morale improves. History of the World. Empire, Age of Discovery. Spirit Island. Perseverance, Castaway Chronicles. Star Wars Rebellion. Axis and Allies, 1942. Wonderland's War. War Room.
I mean, I want to play it really bad.
Anachrony.
Bob, I've played, 2 of your games? What the hell, Bob? What is going on here?
Get more free time. Yes, I don't know if you heard the theme of the games that take way too long.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Anachrony, War Room, Axis and Allies.
The theme of this is get more free time.
Get more free time. History of the World, yeah.
All right, so my top 10 is, starting with number 10, Mechs vs. Minions is number 10. Number 9, GKR, Heavy Hitters. Number 8, Defenders of the Realm. Number 7, Clank. Number 6, Star Wars Rebellion. 5, Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. Number 4, Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Number 3, Empire's Age of Discovery. Yeah, way up there.
Way up.
Number 2 is Cthulhu Wars, and my number 1 game of all time is Concordia still. I believe it was my number 1 last time as well.
It was.
Let's see. Shadow Network, Marvel Remix or Fantasy Realms, whatever you want to say. Marvel Champions, Lords of Hellas, Tapestry, Just One, Nemesis, either edition, Twilight Imperium, Dune, Imperium, and Blood on the Clocktower.
You have some mediocre games on there.
No, I definitely do not. I look forward to seeing which ones you did what for, because you are dumb. I'm telling you right now.
Shots fired.
Okay, my number 10 is Smartphone Inc., Cubitos, Blood Rage, Castles of Burgundy, Wonderland's War, Anachrony, Unk, Scythe, Concordia, Blood on the Clocktower. So, on Tim's list, Mechs vs. Minions is the game I would like to play the most.
Let's do it, buddy.
Okay.
On Dan's list, either Nemesis or TI4.
Oh, you've never played either?
Neither.
Wow, okay.
So there you go. And then Bob's list, it's between War Room and Spirit Island.
Okay.
War Room.
So Tim,
Yeah.
I just lost my list. Where to go? I would like to play Empire Age of Discovery.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do it. I would really want to play
Dan?
that game.
That's funny.
We should play Dune Imperium.
Yeah.
And Mike, Anachrony. I mean, we got to play Anachrony.
Yeah, thanks,
We're going
boss.
to get your uncle.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really useful input there,
You
Bob.
like that? What?
So on Bob's list, War Room. But yeah, Empire's Age of Discovery or
Sure,
Star
sure.
Wars Rebellion.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just all the same day.
No.
Yours
But
is probably War Room for me.
real quick, one time I was talking to Mike, and he was like, I was trying to get him to come over to play a game. He's like, it's going to have to be something super epic. This is
Oh,
before
I
really
know
knew,
this
really
story.
knew what Mike was into, and I was just like, Star Wars Rebellion? He's like, damn it, I'm in. And he came over and
Yeah,
we played.
it was like 10 o'clock
It was
at night,
super late,
and I'm like,
yeah.
Listen.
I'll come if we get some good gaming out of it. And without saying anything, that was the game that popped in my head. I'm like, this son of a...
Bob and I's first time playing Star Wars Rebellion, we started at like 11 o'clock at
Yeah,
night.
it was super late.
At a Julia Con.
Con, yeah.
We're like- And Patrick's like, really? You guys are, we're like, yeah, we'll be fine. And we were just in that back room.
Yep.
Played till like 2 in the morning
It was
or
awesome,
whatever. It
yeah.
was so good. It was so
Yes.
much fun. What
Sorry.
a great experience. So yeah, I mean, War Room, if I'm going to go games I haven't played,
Okay, sure.
War Room would be that one. Dan, I don't remember what you've got on your list that I haven't played.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just going to say Marvel Remix because I want to play that friggin'
Sure.
game all the time.
Yeah, I think you've
played all of them with-
everything.
I think I have.
I guess Shadow Network and Dune Imperium as you've played the
Actually,
least.
okay, so I'll pick Dune Imperium because I played Shadow Network multiple times.
Right,
But
and
Dune
Dune
Imperium I've
Imperium
only
once.
played once.
Right.
And I really liked it, but it was one that's like, gosh, this was really tight. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I need to play it more. So yeah, Dune Imperium. And then Mike, Concordia? Gosh, you had the castles. What was the castles?
Castle
one?
Burgundy.
Castles of Burgundy?
Yeah, I've never played it.
I haven't either.
I probably
should check it out
on
before
your
the
I just
Kickstarter
remember,
ends.
on your guys' list, it's clearly Concordia. I've got to play this.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I probably should play Concordia. I played Blood on the Clocktower.
You should. I want you to play it just so you
I
can
know.
definitively go.
Hey,
no,
there
I
were
don't
a couple
like it."
times I was totally open to play. Like the one time we went to Mike's, I'm like, it's gonna happen tonight.
It was the one night I wasn't there,
and
too.
it didn't happen. But then yeah, so Concordia and
Yeah.
Blood on the Clocktower.
That's it. Man, that's really easy because you.
I know.
You,
I knocked out all three.
all of a list
Yeah.
right away.
Yep.
So yeah,
Fine.
yeah. No, these lists are all great. I'm really excited. I'm glad that we have the opportunity to do it because what a fun vanity project to go through and rate your top 50 games of all
Right. I
time.
gotta think about these games I love.
I
Oh no.
Yeah, and I also like seeing like. I mean, there's a little bit of personal pride when it's like I introduced him to that game. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
we.
Well, there's a reason it's not my number one. You know?
But yeah, it's just what a great experience. It's a ton of fun going through these lists, seeing where there's crossover. I think we only had 2 or 3 games that hit on the same spot on the same number.
Oh, yeah, super rare.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, no, and
It
it's
was
kind of
Battlestar
crazy.
Galactica, it was Lords of Vegas, and it was Ankh.
Ankh, yeah, because we had Lords of Vegas and Ankh, and we had Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
Yeah, what a good.
You guys had Lords of Vegas
Oh, we had Lords of Vegas.
on the same one.
Same one.
So you matched with each person once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I bet you guys all hated it.
Yep.
No, but what a good time, man. So Dan, what do you want everybody to do? I know we talked about it at the top of the episode. But
Oh yeah, the thing that I didn't exactly follow when Bob set me up. So I want to see. I've been asking this in all the videos. I want to see you guys pick one game from each of our lists here today, and like which one would you most like to play, or is your favorite? I guess is a way to word that,
Yeah.
because then I think it's interesting to put together like a top what would that be? A top 5 for everyone then, where you have like 5 games from Mike's, 5 from mine, right, and everything like that. And I just find that really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's a cool.
That'd
idea.
be some cool data to collect.
Very cool. idea.
Definitely. I'm already looking forward to next year because I want to see how my numbers change. Because I said that there's like groups of games that are just so close to me, they could flip flop, and another year they probably will. So I'm just curious how that flip flopping will happen.
I'm gonna throw this list away to never be seen again.
Oh, I can't wait to save this list and reference it over and over again. Just to see.
Mine's gonna never go away.
I'm just gonna make a copy, fold it up, keep it in my wallet, so I always have it with
Mike,
me.
what's your number 1 game of all time?
Which
year?
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me think about that. But yeah, we're doing a lot more streaming now. We've gotten a lot of good feedback on our streams. We've been doing those every Wednesday at 8
most of it
p.m.
is like, Mike, go stand in the other room when you talk.
Yeah,
Just
we
kidding.
think we got Mike's mic problem figured out.
We think now we just need to figure out the hamster wheel that Tim uses for his internet.
Apparently.
And a few of us are going to be on a different podcast.
What? Yeah, but that'll have already happened. When this comes out.
Exactly, but I'm saying, so go check it out.
Yeah, so go check out the full 42.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Full 42.
we will have guest starred on that by the time this is out, and we'll be talking about our top 5 card only games.
Have they told you guys how many?
5?
So it's only 2 of them, because it's usually 3 of them.
No, I meant 5. Like how many games?
Oh no, I was just meant like there's gonna be a lot of people in this call because they usually do 3 and a guest sometimes.
Yeah, so it might be 6.
So it might be 6.
That's
like,
why you're
if
only
it's
doing
6,
top
that's
5, not a
crazy.
top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of just go till they're done.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
so-
That's what I liked about ours the other day. Is it was like, oh, this kind of feels like them.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just-
why Andrew was a punk on his Meet the Guys.
No, but he went till he was done. It's just that when he was done, he was a bitch.
yeah.
He was done. We hit the hour mark, and
like-
he's basically like, all right, guys, I'm out.
Yeah, I finished my milk.
So rude.
My warm milk is done. It's night time.
Mommy put out cookies for me. Go to
or
bed.
cupcakes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I wasn't there for that, but I know the story. It's pretty good. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. These are so much fun to make. We're going to not stop making them because they are so much fun to make.
They are.
So please let us know, join the Discord.
Sad panda.
Talk to us, reach out to us. We love hanging out with you guys. I think we're going to, by the time this has come out, we will have met a viewer, a new to us viewer is going to come up
Yep,
for
coming up to one of the Meeple events.
one of the Meeple events.
That's
And we post those on Facebook. We talk about them in the Discord. So all of that information is there. I'd like to think we're all very accessible. And just if anybody's
Tim's
ever
home address is
if anybody ever's around and wants to play a game, man, hit us up because I think for the most part all of us would play any game once. You know what I mean? And
except
try
Blood on
them
Clock
out.
Tower.
Yeah, apparently.
So we've seen.
I guess it takes a special occasion to get Dan and I to play Wonderland's War, but
That's
it'll
true.
happen.
The special
I'm
occasion
offended.
being them choosing a night that we're available.
Yeah. Also true. Just have it set up. Is all I because that was
Done.
the initial hang up was like
It's easy. With,
it
like,
takes
deluxe.
a long time to set up.
Nah. Games you play? Are you kidding me? You spent 2
Compared
hours
to
setting
other
up Heroes
games
of
that
Land,
we
Air, and Sea
play?
the other day.
Way
how it
shorter than
works.
that.
Yeah, way shorter than that.
Way shorter than that. Sure. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you guys as always for watching. I've been Tim.
That was Bob.
I used
Dan.
to be Mike. Rude.
Look, you guys crossed over on number 1. You crossed over on
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, we got one more thing we're going to do real quick. We need all the Bobisms that Mike has been tracking. I didn't want all that ink to be wasted.
Okay, yeah, that's probably.
Yeah.
We have our first post-credit scene.
Post-credits.
This is our Marvel stinger.
Maybe pre-credits. We don't really know.
This is where you
but
see Bob turn into the villain in the next.
If I live long enough to become the villain.
If you've been watching our videos, you know that Bob likes to make up words. Now, a lot of his words are just adding a Y or an ish at the end.
Still made up.
However, these are still made-up words, and I wrote down every made-up word from our top 50. So,
I want to say really quick, I actually love this because I'm pretty pretty sure this started because I said a made-up word, and he like made fun of me, and then you said a made-up word, and he was like, "I'm running with this," and now he's only targeted you, and I was just
Thanks.
like, just like fade away.
I don't know. I guess I didn't catch a whole lot of Danisms.
I don't know.
Or maybe I wasn't
we'll
paying
see early
attention.
on.
But we have sciency.
Yep.
Yeah.
Check. That's a real
Or when
thing. I
things
say
have
that all
lots
the
of
time.
science in it.
Yeah.
We've got civish.
Yeah.
Right.
Like civilization type games.
Right. These are very easily to define
Yes.
words.
We've got choreographing.
That was weird. I don't know what that is either.
Which really is choreographing.
That's what it's supposed to be.
So if pronounced correctly, is a real word.
It's a real word.
It is a real word.
Not the way he said it, though.
I don't remember why that one's there, but that's a weird one.
I think just because
I just said it wrong. Yeah, I just
No,
said it
I
wrong.
like when it was said. As
What
well.
game
yeah.
was he talking about?
Oh, that's a good question. Now, I wrote these all down when we were doing our 41 through 50.
Yeah.
So I believe all these words came in that episode.
Yeah. So you said it was choreographing?
Yeah.
No, it was I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what game got that out.
Me either.
I think it was 41 through 50.
I think it was through the ages.
Maybe it was 31 through
Because you're
40.
like, I'm planning my stuff, and you're.
I got them
instead of
written down.
choreographing your.
I kind of have all these written down between the 31 and 50, so I don't know.
Oh, it could have been
which-
Mask of the Red Death. That's on my list.
He hasn't played that though.
Right,
could've been
but he would have been
talking
talking
Oh,
about it.
got it.
We've
Anyway.
also got Sudoku-y.
Sudoku-y.
Yeah.
Things that are like Sudoku.
Yeah, that one was probably me. Right? I say the word
Was it?
Sudoku constantly. So I-
For no reason.
For no reason.
Yeah,
How you doing today, Dan?
Yeah, Sudoku.
Interesting.
I think this one is my favorite, and it's Star Warsiness.
Yeah.
That one has
No
two
explanation.
endings.
That's right.
Warziness.
Yeah.
You think the word's ending. Star
No,
Wars.
there's one more suffix coming at you.
the rest of my dang list. Now, this
The
one is
third.
kind of a repeat because we've got Civi
Right.
to go with Civish.
Well, that's the short version,
Yeah, it's
right?
like, yeah, if you take civiness and you short it to civi.
Yeah.
Civish to civi.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
civilization is civish.
Right.
Tapestry is civi.
It's correct. Tim gets it.
No, well, he's the civer.
Civer,
I'm
that's
the
like-
civvy.
Yeah.
You know?
The Civipian. Okay. We've also got Skirmishy.
Skirmishing.
Right.
Yeah,
That one should be a word.
It should be.
Like, because I could say that in
I
everyday
think
life.
doing Imperium is skirmishy. You don't have to
Yeah.
skirmish, but you can.
Sure.
I don't
Is
know.
it?
combat.
But is it skirmishish?
Skirmish. No, that's only if Sean Connery finds a
Yeah,
game
skirmishy.
skirmishy.
It's very skirmishers.
We also, I believe this one came in the 11 through 20. That's Catani.
Catan.
Oh,
Yes.
right. Starfarers.
Starfarers.
It's very
Yep.
Catani.
And then we had one today, and that was Stompy.
Stompy is my favorite
That's a
one.
word, though.
Stompy is not a word.
Is it?
No.
Sure
Googling.
Stompy's a word.
I don't think
Because
Stompy's
when
a
would you
word.
use that in a sentence? It's.
When something's
stompy
stomping
dinosaur
about.
came
It's,
Well, you just said stomping. You said a different word. When something's stomping about, it's stompy.
It just says in
See,
Wikipedia, it says
to me,
Bobisms.
stompy is whenever
Stompy.co. It's a vegan wine.
Well, it's a vegan website, so
Oh.
it counts.
It's in the Wiktionary. Stompy, comparative to stompier.
Stompy
Oh
is
my
a,
God.
Of a
Stompy
stomping
is
style.
is a valid Scrabble word.
well, that doesn't
Boom.
mean anything. Scrabble
a-
words
Right there.
are awful.
A style of music.
Of a stomping style or dance of music appropriate, such as a dance.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Stompy to me is when you
So,
you get like
holy crap.
To step in a heavily
musical
and
movie.
repeatedly so as to
No, wait.
crush or injure.
Hold on. If it's a type of dance, so you're saying
wanna
in
see this in
Perseverance,
Webster's.
dancing dinosaurs come
Dancing
through
dinosaurs.
and wreck your town?
Dancing dinosaurs. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
Spencer should be all over this.
I want to see it in Webster's. That's all I'm saying. I
Listen.
don't trust anyone
I
else.
couldn't find it in Webster's.
Yeah, because it's not a real word. That book is-
Because Stompy used to be a term from Magic the Gathering. You'd make a green Stompy deck.
yeah, it's a slang term.
Right.
Not
So
a-
just
It's a
just you know, a
legitimate-
thing with a bunch of made up stuff in it.
All words are made up, Dan.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Well,
All
yeah,
right,
that's
so
it.
These have been the Bobisms. We will now let you go to your regular scheduled programming.
Which is our next video. It's right there.
Auto plays awesome.